Sources telling ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter that Washington Commanders owners Dan and Tanya Snyder are nearing a deal to sell the storied franchise, the team that he's owned since 1999. Under Snyder's ownership, the team maxed out at 10 wins in a season 3 times and a double-digit losses in a single year 10 times. 6 playoff appearances since 1999. They never made it past the divisional round with their last playoff win coming back in 2005. All of this goes along with Snyder's off-the-field issues, including being fined $10 million by the NFL back in 2021 for workplace culture. No deal has been signed as of yet. Any deal has to be submitted to league owners for a 3/4 approval. Baseball this afternoon, the Tampa Bay Rays in their quest for history, trying to tie the 82 Braves and the 87 Brewers for the best start to a season at 13-0. They entered the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing the Red Sox by a count of 3-1. They now go to the top of the 6th, leading 8-3. A 7-run bottom of the 5th for Tampa, which tries to go to 13-0 to start the season.
Coming up Friday, I'll tell you which NBA All-Star has a chance to make the leap to superstar with a big playoff run. Keyshawn J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, WIN. That's WIN. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. We are live in the Ingles studio here on ESPN Asheville.
Hey, let's go! 1 out of 5 ain't bad.
Hashtag Spectrum sucks. Missed yesterday's program because of the Spectrum outage in the area.
I ruined somebody's day yesterday. They went home and told their wife, there is a hillbilly somewhere in them there mountains in North Carolina. He is a jerk.
It only makes sense.
Yep.
It only makes. I mean, it's the way things are. But we are live in full effect here in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to join us in the chat.
And today, it was supposed to be yesterday, but next day works too. This is a little bit different of a mock draft because I have the odds and he has the evens. Mm-hmm. So you don't just get me. You get what he thinks too.
That's right. We're going to split it up. Jeremy will take the odd-numbered picks. I will take the even-numbered picks. We will negotiate trades back and forth and see what we can come up with for the 2023 NFL Draft order. We will be covering every pick of the NFL Draft live in the Sportsocracy in the Ingles studio, and it will be solely seen on YouTube. So go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel.
And it may be, we have not fully nailed this down yet, it might be an event that you're able to attend live in person with us.
It may be the beautiful road show for the Sportsocracy for the NFL Draft. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And it is, 2 weeks away?
2 weeks from today. 2 weeks, 4 hours and 56 minutes until it is Draftmas time, boys and girls.
We have the final 3-round mock drafts, team by team, going out on the channel tonight after this program. And then tomorrow we will start putting out Jeremy's A-plus mock drafts, team by team, all 7 rounds, what it would look like if your guy fell to you.
And those are in a vacuum, so you'll see some players more than once. This is who's visited you, who have I heard you're in on. Those are real in deep for you, little aspiring draft nerds. that are as all in on the draft as we are.
Patrick Holt already says he'll come up for the draft if we have it live somewhere. Sloan Jordan says he'll make the 2-hour drive as well. I feel like this is the path, and we knew that was going to be the response.
Yeah, here's the thing. We were 99% done with this anyway, and we just wanted to make sure that we wouldn't be there all by ourselves.
And, of course, even if you're not in the YouTube stream in the comment section, you will be invited as well. Again, we'll give you the details on that should that take place. But regardless, we will have full coverage of each and every pick of the NFL draft on the YouTube stream. Let's get into it here. The last live mock draft before draft day here in the Sportsocracy. Jeremy has the odd picks. I have the even picks. So with the number 1 pick, it's the easiest pick in the draft. The Carolina Panthers traded up to 1. They will take... Wait, draft. There we go.
I was about to say, there's no way you're not hitting your stupid little button because you're a big fan of that button.
Yeah, I do love the button.
It's Bryce Young, quarterback out of Alabama. I am now officially, I feel like it's election night, and I can officially declare that the number 1 pick has been settled, and we're ready to call it. It is Bryce Young to the Carolina Panthers.
Vegas is staking a lot on this. The odds right now are what, minus 360?
Yes.
For Bryce Young to go number 1 overall to the Panthers.
Bryce Young's the number 1 pick. I have almost no doubt of that.
I could not be happier about this pick for Carolina because I do believe he's the better quarterback, and I'm just glad to hear that the size was not going to be as big of a factor as we thought it would be when Carolina first traded up to a number 1.
Well, I mean, and the thing that's the thing that I have long said, and now I almost feel like I've been vindicated, is I have told anybody that will listen, if you're watching the two of them on tape and you don't see that Bryce Young's better than C.J. Stroud, I cannot help you. Now, if you get spooked off by the size or you get scared or whatever, okay. But now if you're telling me just straight prospect for prospect that C.J. Stroud's better than Bryce Young, you and I have nothing further to talk about because it's just not what the tape bears out. And I feel like Carolina did that thing that smart franchises do. They went up going, okay, we're 70% done. We know there's a quarterback that will be a franchise quarterback for us and will be better than what we had. Maybe they were torn between Bryce and CJ, and when they got up there, everything for the last month has steered into Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
The betting markets got lively about CJ Stroud. That has dwindled off, and now we're here.
And when they come up to pick in the second round at number 39, I would imagine that would be a spot for a wide receiver. If it were me, that's what I would do because
if you
I
can
look
get
at this,
one there, which I'm not.
Right, it depends on who's still available.
Not as easy as it sounds.
It depends on who's still available, but that's what I would be trying to do because I'm good with this team. I'm good with this team the way it's constructed. You give me C.J. Stroud, give him a weapon with that second pick or the third round pick or whatever you need to do to give him another weapon. You just brought in Adam Thielen, DJ Shark, Miles Sanders is your running back. The offensive line is good. Now you look at this team and go, Frank Reich can turn that into a winner. Maybe not immediately, but eventually I believe they can get it done.
I feel like cooler heads prevailed, and now you've gotten to the place that you should have gotten, and good for Carolina fans. This is, to me, it's the best quarterback prospect you've ever had.
Mm-hmm. The Houston Texans pick second overall. I have the evens, so I got to sound this out.
I'm real intrigued to see where you go here.
So Houston, C.J. Stroud is sitting right here for Houston to take. But I really am starting to believe that they will not take a quarterback. And if it were up to me, I don't think I would either.
Ooh.
Here's my rationale.
Ooh.
Here's my rationale for this. So Houston is not going to compete for anything right now. What we're hearing is that they're not sold on C.J. Stroud. They're not huge fans of C.J. Stroud. Don't really know what the future could be.
I'll
with
go ahead
him.
and tell you if it's a quarterback, everything I've been told is it will not be C.J. Stroud.
Right. So do they go with Anthony Richardson?
That is the one that it would be if it's not, if they do take a quarterback.
Right. Do they take a big gamble at number 2 with a guy that may or may not ever pan out to be
it's a risk.
A superstar?
It's a risk for sure.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be in this quarterback class next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be right in the thick of it because even with what I've done in the offseason, which ain't great.
No, the Houston Texans really love just finding every old dude that will take a check and go, Robert Woods, you want to come here too? You haven't been good in forever. Here, take money. We got to give it to you.
Right. I'm picking in the top 5 at worst, or at best, I guess, next year. I'm going to be in the quarterback class. I may not get Drake Young, or I may not get Drake May. I may not get Caleb Williams.
You will.
But maybe I'll get Quinn Ewers.
No matter what you do with C.J. Stroud, the Houston Texans are picking the top 5 next year.
I agree.
And that's my opinion, and I firmly believe that's their opinion.
I agree.
We will be in the top 5 no matter what we do.
So I don't believe in C.J. Stroud if I'm the Houston Texans. That's what they're telling us. I'm not taking a big gamble on Anthony Richardson at 2. So at number 2, I get the guy who is thought by many to be the number 1 prospect in this draft and probably the closest thing to a can't-miss prospect, as much as Jeremy hates that term. I'm taking Will Anderson.
Hey, he only made it through 1 pick hitting his stupid little button.
Oh, yeah.
That was not me saying hit it. If you hit no, that is a Draftmas Day present, and we do not get 31 of those until Draftmas.
All right, Houston Texans take Will Anderson, the edge rusher out of Alabama.
And I feel like this was smoke at first, because Houston's been letting anybody that would listen know since the draft process started. We're not dead set that we're taking a quarterback. I thought that was a little bit of smoke, thinking somebody might move up. And then the further that it's gone, the more it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is now no longer smoke. And there is I think a better than zero chance that Will Anderson's the pick at 2.
I think there's a better than 40% chance.
I would agree
that he's the pick at 2.
I would agree, because if you're looking at this draft going, there's not a second franchise quarterback, which some teams feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams feel there's only one, and it's C.J. Stroud. I mean, there are a lot of different iterations of how this goes. If that's where you're at, and you know this team is that bad, then why would you force it? Why would I take a guy with the second pick, knowing I've got D'Amico Ryans, whose defense is predicated on being able to get after quarterbacks? Why would I not just go get the edge rusher?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said can't miss. You know that irritates me.
I do.
There's no such thing as can't miss. Andrew Luck's probably the closest that I've ever had, and guess what? Missed.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of factors. But Will Anderson's the safest player in this draft, and it's really not all that close. So I definitely understand why Houston would look at this and just go, you know what?
I'm taking a cornerstone piece for the future, knowing that I'll have a chance at a quarterback next year.
And that's a little 3-dimensional chess, I'm not going to lie. But it has definitely become much more possible.
So if Houston takes Will Anderson at 2, then that means the floodgates can open up for trade offers at number 3, right?
Yes, I'm the Arizona Cardinals, and I am actively having a fire sale to anyone that will take the call. The problem that I've had is I don't know who that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody talks about Tennessee. We've talked about Tennessee. Do you realize how much that's going to cost? You're going to give up 11. You'll give up your 1 next year. You're probably going to have to give up either a 2 this year, a 2 next year, or a future 2.
Mm-hmm.
That is a ton of draft capital to get a quarterback that you don't really have anything around right now anyway.
Okay.
So could they do it? Sure. I don't know that I would.
Mm-hmm. So you're the new GM of the Arizona Cardinals,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to get a text from the team sitting at number 6, the Detroit Lions. Since I own that pick, I will send that text, and I will say, hey, what would you think about switching places in the first round here? And I'll give you the second round pick at 48,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give you 81 at 3 in the third round.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do the deal? Do you want to move down? You get to stay inside the top 6. You still got a chance at a really good player here. Gain a little draft capital. And Detroit gets to move up.
I do, and I've called around. Tennessee's not willing to pay my price. They tried to undercut me. So, yeah, I'm going to take 2 day 2 picks for you to I move down to 6, and you get up to 3.
Yep. All right. So now that I made the trade, do I get to make the pick?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm trading up to 3, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take C.J. Stroud.
This is becoming more and more of a possibility, and it's with the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Not because they don't feel like that they're in win-now mode. You're not going to get another shot at a quarterback.
Exactly.
Now you're at 130% of value is what it has cost to trade into the top 5 to get a quarterback. It's been that way for 2 decades. You're getting this for basically what the pick's worth. You give up a 2, you give up a 3, you go up and get your guy, you still have a first-round pick at 18.
Mm-hmm.
The Seattle Seahawks will call, the Detroit Lions will call, and if it gets to this point where no one will meet their astronomical need, then I could see Detroit going up there, getting C.J. Stroud, going, we're good with Jared Goff. He's the starter for a year. We're good there. We can get out of that contract in a year, and C.J. Stroud takes over, and now we've got this franchise in place for the next 10 years.
Right. Because as this team is constituted right now, in the next 4 to 5 years, will I have any shot at getting a top quarterback?
Tony Turntable on our YouTube comment said, hit the button. I've been overruled.
Okay. All right. So at number 3, the Detroit Lions, after the trade with the Arizona Cardinals, we'll take C.J. Stroud, the quarterback from Ohio State.
I thought the computer was being my friend there. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world if you can make it make sense, because the Lions and the Seahawks both got here because teams made win-now moves. You get an extra pick, and hey, guess what? Both of your rosters are better than the team that you traded away from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love any of these defensive prospects to come in right away if I'm Detroit. They're not worth the 6th pick. Tyree Wilson is not worth the 6th pick. He would not be the 6th pick in any draft I've ever evaluated, except the one that shall not be named because they were all dreadfully awful.
Mm-hmm. And
so I get the chance to go lock myself into a quarterback. I know I'm set. I've got Dan Campbell. I've got all these pieces. I'm okay. I have that pick at 18 that I can address a piece on my defense, and that's what I would be planning on doing if I had that pick, but I have the evens. Or I have the odds. You have the evens.
Right. Detroit makes the trade for the quarterback, and that team is now set up because you're not going to have a chance at a top quarterback in any other class for the coming future.
Because you're too good.
Jared Goff is fine for now, and he's a perfect bridge, but he's not my long-term solution, or at least I don't think he should be.
No, and this is how easy it is to completely throw the draft into pandalarium because Houston goes, I'm not sold on a quarterback. Not because I don't love him, but because I have better options next year. Detroit and Seattle don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like 155. The bar's closing, and well, I mean, we've been talking, and you're cute. Like, I'm cute. Let's. All right.
So now Indianapolis is sitting at 4 to make their pick in the 2023 NFL Draft.
And I think they're happier than many would think they would be. But this also triggers a second action. I'll tell you what that is after the break.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingalls, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingalls, we're with every step of the way.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Everybody is buzzing about Yellow Jackets on Showtime, including the cast.
This season will blow your mind. I actually dropped to the floor. Kind of freaky, kind of gory, and it's a little bit funny.
It's endlessly fascinating.
I think people are going to freak out when they see that.
It's going to be real fun. If I wasn't on this show, I'd be watching just as fiercely.
This season of Yellow Jackets is wild. If you haven't watched the show yet, get to it!
Yellow Jackets, new episodes streaming now, only on Showtime. And now, stream Showtime on Paramount.
The inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, God?
Four Locos? I can't do Four Locos.
I can. Let's go.
I can't do.
If Jeremy's life has shown anything, and if you're wondering what we're talking about in the chat, they're throwing out what Tank should consume for our live draft coverage. Four Locos would be that would be a 1 and out for Tank, and then he might die. And then it would be Jeremy for I'm gonna go 26 picks, just by myself. Make them laugh, make them laugh.
We'll have all of the coverage of the picks right here in the Sportsocracy for all 3 days of the draft, 2 weeks from today.
Shirley Temples, that's what Stephen Tao said. Way more Tank speed.
What is? Oh, that's the non-alcoholic.
Yeah, it's got grenadine and Sprite.
Yeah. Soaring Eagle in with a super chat.
Oh, and it's just that simple.
I'm your huckleberry.
He says, how about this? Arizona pick swaps with Tennessee and send D-Hop instead of all that later capital. Plus, no Arizona can take Jackson Smith and Jigba or Quentin Johnston with the new pick.
No shot. DeAndre Hopkins is not worth more than a 4 or 5. If you want up there, you're going to have to give what that pick is worth, because you got to understand, this draft is really thin at the top. So for Arizona, this is kind of the same thing I said about Chicago. I don't want to come down if I don't have to. Now, I feel like they're targeting a player. That's a pick for you, so we'll see if you are in the same headspace that I am. I'm not trading out of that unless I'm getting 100% of what this pick is worth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just – this is just not where you're at. So I don't think Tennessee would be willing to meet the price, which is how Detroit and Seattle get involved at not a value, but a value compared to what we've done over the years.
Sloan Jordan says I'm the type to drink an apple teeny and then try to convince everybody how good it is.
Correct. 100%. I'm actually shocked I've never seen you do that.
Never had one. Never had an apple teeny.
And that, boys and girls, is what a lie sounds like.
Now, you give me some frozen drinks? Do some frozen
Oh,
drinks?
yeah, I ordered a blender drink at a bar guy.
100%.
Oh, you're the worst.
Give me a pina colada. Let's go.
If it's more than 2 syllables, you're doing it wrong. Beer. Fireball. End of message. Repeat the line.
Jaeger.
Also good.
It's also good not as good when it winds up on the sidewalk after Tank drinks it either.
Yeah,
so
that's more your problem than mine.
All right, let's move on here. Number 4 pick in the NFL draft. I got the evens. Jeremy's got the odds. And it's time for the Indianapolis Colts to make their pick at 4. It's Will Levis. There's no chance to me that this pick is not Will Levis.
I would agree, and Vegas is basically trying to tell you that. Because he is just low enough that you're not making a crazy amount of it, and they're getting so much value on Anthony Richardson right now that they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I will keep this is one of those times that Vegas will just mess with you of, but the odds say, and then you have to look at the weight. And the weight is telling me they don't care. They're going to make their money on Anthony Richardson, who I don't think the Colts have any interest in unless all 3 quarterbacks are gone.
I would agree.
And I don't see a path to that. Indianapolis has been eerily quiet. Does that not strike you as odd? You've had all this potential movement in front of them, and they just sat back like, no, we're just doing stuff. Oh, we really want Anthony Richardson. But somebody, I really like you to know that. So if you want him, you trade up to get him at 3. Maybe Tennessee, that's in my same division.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we really want him. You should go get him. No, I think they've been in on Will Levis the whole time.
Yep.
He is a more pro-ready quarterback right now. If Anthony Richardson plays the snap this year, you did it wrong. Will Levis can come in right now with that offense. You run the ball really well. You've got a big receiver in Michael Pittman that I think would be his bestest little friend. And I just think he's a much more developed prospect right now. Indianapolis needs a quarterback right this second. Not, hey, well, maybe he sits behind somebody for 2 years. Who's he going to sit behind?
Right.
Sam Ehlinger or Gardner Minshew? Yeah, I really struggle to believe that. They need a quarterback right now.
Yes.
And Will Levis is a quarterback right now. I get that some people don't like him to the same level that I do, but he's still got just an absolute cannon arm. And he didn't have much around him with the Kentucky Wildcats last year.
So Will Levis goes at 4 to the Indianapolis Colts. That puts the Seattle Seahawks on the clock at 5.
And I just realized this is my pick, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to. If I'm Seattle, the defensive prospect, I'm either going Tyree Wilson. I really want Will Anderson, but I'm at the same point that we were just talking about the Lions being. Is he really worth this pick at 5? I'm not going to be here again. Is Tyree Wilson going to be the best player on a really good defense? The answer to me is probably no. I mean, he's got high-end pass rushing skills, but there's not really anybody to take the pressure off of him. I mean, I like Jamal Adams. Hit your stupid button. I hate that I somehow boxed myself into this corner.
All right, the pick is in at number 5.
Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida.
All right, so they believe that, or the thought would be,
do you have a shot at a quarterback again?
No, not really.
As long as Geno Smith can continue to do what he did last year, are you going to have a shot at a quarterback this good again?
This good?
This good. With this kind of high side?
Not this kind of high side, no.
Because I really think about how John Schneider and Pete Carroll and this franchise have looked at quarterbacks. I need you to be a game manager. You're just mobile enough. You keep everything in line. I never take corners in the first round. I've also never had a shot at a quarterback on this high side. Anthony Richardson he's got a cannon arm. He's really hyper athletic. He's probably the most athletic quarterback that's ever come into the NFL. And now I'm going to give him DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett for the long haul. There's certainly a path where this makes all the sense in the world.
The biggest knock on Anthony Richardson has been his lack of accuracy. Does Seattle think that they can make him not as accurate, maybe, because I don't think there's going to be much of another window for Geno Smith to complete 70% of his passes?
I want you to think about something I'm getting ready to say. Geno Smith has been in Seattle for a handful of years now. His biggest knock, he was 15 yards. He was not accurate. I've seen this kid since he was at West Virginia because we're practically the same age. He was accurate coming out. He got into the league. The mechanics went in the toilet, and he could not hit that 5-yard out. With the Jets, it was maddening. Well, Seattle figured out a way. I'm not telling you that Anthony Richardson's going to come in here in Seattle and 3 years from now he's an all-pro. I don't think he has to. This is going to be the same build they had with Russell Wilson on steroids. And I don't have to do anything for 2 years. Seattle, I would argue right now, is the second or third best team in the NFC. It's Philadelphia, San Francisco, them, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think there's anybody even in that discussion. Maybe the Lions. That's it. I'm going to make the playoffs because I showed up and put my uniform on the right direction.
Okay.
So I can take the risk here. And if it blows up in my face, it blows up in my face. This pick, the only thing that this can change is it can make the Russell Wilson trade the worst in NFL history to such a point that nobody ever touches it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've already crushed it. If they drafted Uncle Rico at 5, still the worst trade in NFL history. And the more I hear this, the more I think that is sneaking into their head a little bit of, and Pete Carroll said this. We've never had a shot at a quarterback like this, and we're probably never going to have a shot at it again.
Mm-hmm.
So if he falls there at 5, there's no Will Anderson on the board. Don't be shocked if that's their pick.
All right, there's your path. 4 quarterbacks inside the top 5. Bryce Young at 1 to Carolina. C.J. Stroud to Detroit at 3. Indianapolis takes Will Levis. And then Seattle takes Anthony Richardson out of Florida, the only non-quarterback taken at number 2 by the Houston Texans.
And now we're done with quarterbacks. There shan't be another quarterback, at least I don't think so. No. Unless you do something really off the board.
No.
There will not be another quarterback in this draft.
It is the final live mock draft, first round only, here in the Sportsocracy before draft day, 2 weeks from today. On draft day, we will give you the final entry for at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene into the media contest.
And this year I'm going to win it.
We shall
I'm going
see.
full Matt Hasselbeck. I want the ball, and I'm going to score.
All right, at number 6, the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock after trading down with the Detroit Lions. Jeremy will make the pick next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up into the Friday forecast, and we're watching some big rains today down across Georgia, moving up into South Carolina, coming up from the south. As a coastal low marches across the Carolinas for Friday. 54 degrees our low tonight, increasing storm chances overnight and into Friday. Thunderstorms Friday, high 67, low 49, partly cloudy Saturday, high 76. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa Network has everything you need to get up and go.
Hear new music first on your free iHeartRadio app.
Hey y'all, this is Måneskin.
Hey, what's up? This is Fall Out Boy.
What's up? This is Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
It's iHeartRadio.
Playing now on your completely free iHeartRadio app, where the biggest stars in the world connect with you.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 in the middle of our last live NFL mock draft before draft day, 2 weeks from today. Jeremy and I are trading off picks. He's doing the odds. I'm doing the evens.
My Draft Miss Carol EP will be out next week. Just 16 of the greatest Draft Miss bangers you've ever heard in your life. 16 Draft Miss bangers.
It's a lot.
I saw Mommy kissing Drafty Claus. That's a banger.
We're up to the number 6 pick in the draft. Originally, this was the Detroit Lions pick, but I traded up to 3 with Arizona to take C.J. Stroud. Now, we'll let Jeremy make the pick with the Arizona Cardinals at 6.
Well, for Arizona, you just have you have missed on a ton of guys on that defense. And you just brought in a coach you're playing the long game. Kyler Murray probably misses half the year, so I really don't care what you do. You're the worst team in this division. There's no player in this draft that's going to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm playing the long game of I need players that really fit what Jonathan Gannon wants to do. And that's why I didn't want to trade any further than 6, because there's a chance that if I got into 11, I'm not going to get that guy.
Right.
So I'm here at 6, and I'm going to take the best corner on the board, and that guy's name, hit your button, is Christian Gonzalez, cornerback out of Oregon. There's been some rumor that Devin Witherspoon is actually passing guys on people's boards. I'm not so sure I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
People have been too adamant that Christian Gonzalez is the one. And I think for this system, he's the one. He would come in and be your number 1 corner immediately. You lost Byron Murphy to the Vikings. There's a whole lot of Marco Wilson back there right now. And I want you to think about who you're going up against in your own division. Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
You got lots of weapons in that division, and this is a piece that you can start building on the defense, and that's it's Jonathan Gannon's forte, if you will.
And look, I like Gonzalez a lot. Everybody says he only had one high-level year of tape. And I could actually say that about Devin Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm.
Gonzalez was good. He was just on a horrid Colorado team that made it look like he wasn't as good as he is.
Yep. And then he goes to Oregon, starts getting more pub. I can understand why that's a drawback for some.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that Oregon prioritized him when he was in the transfer portal, because they saw a raw talent. He's freakishly athletic,
mm-hmm.
and they saw a raw talent that was worth going to get. And in that system, he was phenomenal.
Joseph Ostin in the YouTube comments just joining us and said that he's a Lions fan and he thinks that them trading up to 3 to get C.J. Stroud is ridiculous.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't understand why you're saying that. Jared Goff is going to age like a dairy product. So I mean, for me, this is you're taking capital that you've already won that trade.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit Lions have already won the Matthew Stafford trade to me.
Yeah.
Because that roster is set up nicely. Here's the other thing I keep hearing when I talk to people about the Lions. How many young guys is too many? You just brought in a bunch of veterans in your secondary. There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can keep throwing 22, 23, 24-year-old guys in your front seven. That might work out long term. There's a lot of in the air with this draft class.
Yep. Detroit, go get the quarterback while you can, because you're not going to have another chance to do it.
And I'll be honest with you, had Jalen Carter not gone completely off the rails, that's not what you would have done. Now you're making chicken salad out of chicken excrement.
Mm-hmm. At number 7, the Las Vegas Raiders. Jeremy, it's an odd, so you're on the clock again.
This one is tough for me because Christian Gonzalez is who I really wanted. And so now the question is, am I okay taking the second best corner in this class? And yeah, I think I am. Hit your little button. Joey Porter Jr., cornerback out of Penn State.
I like seeing him go this high in the draft. You know I love him as a prospect. How does he fit in with what Patrick Graham wants to put together?
Well, I feel like he needs to be rounded off. I've said that before. I feel like he does certain things very well, and some of it he's going to have to learn how to play in the NFL. This is a bit of a trial by fire, and I'm going to say this for the umpteenth, thousandth time. Do you not think that when Jimmy Garoppolo signed with the Raiders, there wasn't a, hey, we're not putting another rookie behind you? Hey, you know that Trey Lance thing that's been an absolute nightmare for you for the last 2 years? Yeah, we're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Josh McDaniels there were reports all offseason. They wanted to fire him. They just didn't have the money to do it. Now, do I believe that? No, not really. But if that's the case, why would I allow that guy to draft my quarterback of the future? That's why I can't see the Raiders moving up. It doesn't make any sense to me. For me, I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to take the best defensive player, and I mean, I would like to trade down. I'm going to level you. There's probably 24 of the 32 teams that would like to trade down from where they're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of them don't pick until midday 2 or later.
Who would be clamoring to get up to 7, though?
Nobody.
With what's left on the board.
Nobody. I mean, there's a player that the high side is really tantalizing, and I go back to the Lions with that. There's a player that I would really have considered taking. I also if I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss on a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to miss on something that can make me a Super Bowl contender, not miss on a guy who my best comp to him is a player that you've already had.
Right. At number 8, it's the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons.
Indeed. I've got the 8th pick. Atlanta has been trying to find a pass rusher forever. I mean, and they have whiffed at every step of the way. Vic Beasley sticks out in my mind.
Oh, it was an awful pick.
Right. Didn't they also take like O'Shane Ximenez one year? And
yeah, but that was late.
Right, but what I'm saying is like you have taken your shot at edge rusher and you've missed every time. This might be an opportunity for you to go down that path. So at number 8, the Atlanta Falcons will take Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech.
I was curious if you were going to do that. You're not as fond of him as I am.
I'm not as fond of him. You're right. He's a good player. I don't know that I would go there. I was trying to figure out anything else that makes more sense.
Oh, there's not anything there.
No.
I mean, you take Jalen Carter, but I
just don't feel like you're doing that.
Well, because you don't have to. I mean, now defensive tackle is really not a need for you.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I take a guy that could completely bust out of the NFL? It wouldn't. The more I hear about Jalen Carter, the more scared on him I get. I want to put him in a very specific spot, and it's not Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, I would not hate it if that's who you would take in right there. If Tyree Wilson's not on the board, I get it. I 100% get it. If 4 quarterbacks go in the top 5, somebody's going to fall.
I'm also looking at Atlanta going, it would be nice to have a prospect like Jalen Carter, but does he help me the most win this year? Because I got a chance at this division.
Mm-hmm.
I got a chance. Derek Carr comes out and he's not as great as we want him to be with New Orleans. Atlanta's right in the thick of the talk of the division.
And now, do we believe that's going to happen? No, but you have to remember, front offices are delusional as well.
Yeah. So
I had to say that for the Saints fans that say I hate them for some reason.
So Tyree Wilson, we're standing him up in the 3-4?
You can. I think Tyree Wilson can do a little bit of everything.
So then you have Caden Ellis, Ebiketie that you drafted last year, and Tyree Wilson to rotate around in that pass rushing spot. I think he does more for this team now than Jalen Carter, I guess, just being used sporadically with Garrett.
Jalen Carter's a better player. He's also much riskier. And
Right.
I'm going to level with you. That's with me straight up telling you there is some bust potential with Tyree Wilson. It's a lot of projection. But if we're right and you look at the high side and how good he can be, I mean, he was on a terrible Texas Tech team in a conference that everybody scores. So, I mean, there's the raw of him is very intriguing. And I think Atlanta's a nice fit.
Yep. Number 9, the Chicago Bears. This is, of course, the pick that once belonged to the Carolina Panthers, who moved up to number 1. What will the Chicago Bears do? Jalen Carter, he's been in for like 18 visits, I think, with him, so this might be the spot where you find him. Coming up next, Jeremy will make the pick for the Bears.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
iHeart Podcasts is excited to welcome Jay Shetty to the iHeart family. Tune into On Purpose with Jay Shetty, the hit podcast where the former monk shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose.
Try something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time with your partner? We're used to watching them do the same things, do the same activities. Let's see them do something fresh and new.
Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, live your life to the fullest and do the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now, 828-333-9517. It's a free consultation. That's 828-333-9517. Locations in Asheville and Greenville.
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
June 14th, Thomas Wolfe Auditorium. On sale now. Tickets available at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville.com or the venue box office.
Get her done.
Proudly presented by 99.9 KISS Country. The 35th season of Downtown After 5, presented by Prestige Subaru, returns to North Lexington Avenue Friday, April the 21st. The season starts with Philadelphia native and Grammy-nominated artist Devin Gilfillian. With special guests Joe Lasher Jr. and Caitlin Baker. Downtown After 5 is always free and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
We are 2 weeks away from the 2023 NFL Draft, and we're in the midst of our final live mock draft before draft day here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got the odd picks. I got the even picks. We're sitting at number 9, the Chicago Bears. What will they do?
This is the hardest pick
I don't really know what I want to do here, but actually, you know what I do? I do know what I want to do. It's Bijan Robinson.
Oh, okay. I did not see that coming.
Every mock draft that I have done, looking at Philadelphia, it either ends up being Jalen Carter or a tackle that I can take for the future, which would get some playing time right now somewhere on the line. Peter Skoronski is the one that I have been putting with them more than anything, because that line's going to get older, and I'm going to need a replacement at some point. But then Bijan Robinson is, as you said, or you have said, he's your number one player on the board Philadelphia, what's the one thing that I do more than anything else? Run
the ball.
The damn ball.
Oh, I understand.
Am I pushing forward with Rashad Penny as my superstar or quote-unquote superstar? No.
Oh, I fully understand why you just did this. I'm a little surprised that you did it.
But for why?
Oh, well, just, because people lose their minds about running backs, and I get it. He's the best player in this draft. But if he and Will Anderson are the two best players in this draft, I don't think it's debatable.
And I can understand that in the scenario of most teams. But the Philadelphia Eagles are not most teams. They don't have many holes. They don't have many places where I've got a real need to fill. I can take the risk on a running back. I don't care about the running back in the first round thing.
Oh, I certainly care about it. I just don't care about it I don't care about it as much I don't care about as much Philadelphia for one, because this is a pick you got from New Orleans for basically free. And I mean, I know New Orleans Saints fans don't like to hear that, but that trade didn't make any sense to me when you did it. It makes even less sense to me now. And so when I say house money, people, they gristle at that. But it's really true.
Mm-hmm.
It's really true. And we have one of these. If you're watching on the YouTube stream, apologies. The screen, for some reason, just completely locked up. The Chicago Bears took Jalen Carter at 9.
Which forced Philadelphia to go into scramble mode.
Some of you got to watch our mouths move, but you didn't hear us actually say anything. We're working on fixing that for the long term.
Right, so the Chicago Bears take Jalen Carter at 9. Then Philadelphia comes up at 10. No Jalen Carter on the board. They'll take Bijan Robinson.
And then we have one of these.
I'm your huckleberry.
From our buddy Bob Brown, who said Philadelphia trades 10, along with 2 more, a first and New Orleans second next year for Brian Burns and 39. That seems like an overpay to me, but in this draft, I get it. Would I hate it if they did something like that? No. I don't think Carolina would even acknowledge you.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. If they were going to trade Brian Burns, they would have done that a year ago. Now they're looking at this division going, Tom's gone. Now we got to beat Derek Carr. Okay. Yeah, we're all in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that premise makes sense. I understand what you're doing there. And don't be sure. We did this last year. You had Marquise Brown and A.J. Brown traded in the first round last year. Don't be shocked if that happens again. Because the thing that I'm afraid of is that you're not going to have teams that are willing to part with players for the unknown quantities that you're going to get in this draft. But, Bob, I like where your head's at. Yep. And it's just that simple. You super chat them out there, and they become topics like that.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, our final live mock draft before draft day in 2 weeks. SportsCenter updates coming up next. We roll on and pick up at number 11 with the Tennessee Titans after that.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up into the Friday forecast, and we're watching some big rains today down across Georgia, moving up into South Carolina, coming up from the south. As the coastal low marches across the Carolinas for Friday. 54 degrees our low tonight, increasing storm chances overnight and into Friday. Thunderstorms Friday, high 67, low 49, partly cloudy Saturday, high 76. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big. Now get $15 off signs, banners, and posters when you spend $75 or more. Offer ends 4/15. Visit staples.com/printbig for details. This is your sign to try Staples, where prints are perfect, guaranteed.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hurry and shop the final days of Springfest at Lowe's. Get select 1-pint annuals, 4 for $5, and refresh your garden for less. Shop Lowe's today, because Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/19. In-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Varies by location while supplies last.
Hey everyone, it's Cassidy Hubbarth from ESPN.
I'm Nico Ramos, a sports broadcaster here in Manila.
Together, we have a new podcast we can't wait to share with you. Hoops Paradise, the Philippines' love of the game.
You know, there's religion, there's politics, and there's basketball. And those are the three things you talk about in the Philippines.
It's a basketball love affair like no other.
From the
Listen to
Ingalls
Hoops
Studios,
Paradise,
this is
the
ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is Sports.
I'm Kevin Winter. Baseball history this afternoon.
There's a swing and a high drive into right center field. This should do it. To his left, Manuel Margot is there. Would you believe 13-0 to start the year? The Tampa Bay Rays have swept the Boston Red Sox 4 in a row, and they tie a major league record by starting the new season 13 wins in a row.
Andy Freed with the final call. WDAE. In the modern era in the game of baseball, the only two teams previously to ever start a baseball season 13-0, the 87 Milwaukee Brewers and the 1982 Atlanta Braves. Those two teams now have company. Tampa Bay explodes for 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Brandon Lau blasts his 5th home run in the last 6 games. Rays win 9-3. 100 runs scored for Tampa, 30 given up in their first 13 games. That's it. The only team with a better start in the history of the game, the 1884 St. Louis Maroons, who won their first 20. According to Adam Schefter, sources telling him the Washington Commanders owners, Dan and Tanya Snyder, nearing a deal to sell the storied franchise.
Coming up Friday, I'll tell you which NBA All-Star has a chance to make the leap to superstar with a big playoff run. Keyshawn J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
It is ESPN Asheville. You are in the Sportsocracy, live from the Ingalls studio, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 on the terrestrial signal. You can also take us everywhere you go with the iHeartRadio app and watch us as well on YouTube. All you got to do is go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get the live alerts, especially you'll need that for 2 weeks from today when it will be 2023 NFL Draft Night.
7 hours of commercial-free draftmas. And Stan031 in our YouTube chat asked a really good question that I want to go back and touch on.
Mm-hmm.
If the Eagles really want Carter, do you think they trade up to 7 with the Raiders? That's a possibility. That is the only team I see trading up for Jalen Carter would be the Eagles. Because they have the infrastructure to handle all of these things. That's a really veteran-laden defense.
Yeah, I mean, where's the backlash going to come? If it does not work out, is Howie Roseman in danger?
No.
Right.
No, that's we were saying the same thing. You just said it in a weird way that I didn't understand.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going down the path of if this doesn't work, what's the backlash? Well, I mean, we took a swing and we missed, but guess what? I've taken swings and missed before, and we were in the freaking Super Bowl last year.
Bingo.
So maybe they take the shot to trade up. I still feel like that'd be too much of a risk. But if you need Jalen Carter, you may have to do it because Chicago seems to be very, very interested. So Chicago took Jalen Carter at 9. Philadelphia took Bijan Robinson at 10. That leaves us at number 11. Jeremy's got the Jeremy's got the odd picks in this mock draft simulation here. I have the even picks. So at 11, Tennessee Titans are on the clock.
I would sprint.
Sprinting to the podium. Pick is in.
Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle out of Ohio State. I wouldn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be honest with you, I would have taken Broderick Jones here had Paris Johnson been gone. And wouldn't have thought about that. Tennessee is in a really weird spot. And we've talked about this a lot. Could you move up to make to draft the quarterback? Sure. What are you putting around him? All right, so you move up to 3 to get C.J. Stroud, and his 2 is Nick Westbrook-Akina. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say it's not going to happen. Take a receiver here. Ooh, for what, Ryan Tannehill?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. We have a receiver for the offense that's really stunted behind a horrific offensive line. No, I'm going to go get my left tackle. Are there going to be some lumps with Paris Johnson? Of course there are. He bounced all around the line. I've seen him play left tackle. I've seen him play right. I've seen him play at guard. I know definitively if I'm going to take a swing and miss, it's going to be on this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, I like Skoronski better. But for what Tennessee does, I think Paris Johnson has a better chance of coming in and making this work right away.
Number 12, it's the Houston Texans back on the clock after they took Will Anderson at number 2.
I'm really curious to see where you go here. Because since you didn't take a quarterback, I have a funny feeling we're going to vehemently disagree on where they go here.
For a long time, it's been C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young at number 2.
And then you take a receiver.
Right, you pair him with a wide receiver who can come in and be the number 1. Robert Woods is the number 2. I'm still doing it, though. I'm still going with a wide receiver because my quarterback next year is going to need somebody. Oh, by the way, I mean, I don't want to have great success because I still want to be in the market for the quarterback next year at the top of the draft. But I do need to get weapons on this team. Robert Woods can't be my number 1.
Sorry, just hearing that out loud is funny to me.
So I'm going to take the number 1 guy that they have on their board. My number 1 guy and Jeremy's number 1 guy is Quentin Johnston.
Oh, so you're doing what Vegas really thinks that Houston's going to do.
Yeah, because Vegas is smarter than I am.
Correct.
And the odds-on favorite for that pick right now is Jackson Smith and Jigba. So, reluctantly, I will go to the podium, though I disagree with what the GM has said, and give them the ticket for Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I am not as wild about him, but I'm also not privy to what he says behind closed doors. Here is something that I don't think I have said on this show yet. When he sat out of the CFP, there were a lot of people that it really ruffled their feathers. For whatever reason, the further on this process we've gone, Quentin Johnston has been pushed down. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been pushed up. Couldn't tell you why that is. I've heard some different theories on it. But now I'm almost positive that Njigba will be the first receiver taken in this class. And it makes sense with Houston. I mean, yes, you got to have weapons for whoever the quarterback is a year from now. I'll go ahead and tell you it's not what I would have done. Okay. If I had the evens, you had the odds, I would have taken Peter Skoronski right there, and I would have thought about it twice.
So you put him on the right side across from Laramie Tunsil.
He's my right tackle. I've got Tunsil on the left. I now feel like that will help Kenyon Greene that I took in the first round for some reason a year ago. And now I'm looking at the line going, okay, I'm not saying we're going to be good, but we'll be able to run the ball. The line will be set a year from now. I'll get my quarterback, and then I'll figure the weapons out. Because there will be weapons that want to play with Caleb Johnson. There will be weapons that want to play with Drake May. You're going to be hard-pressed to get that with Davis Mills.
Who's Caleb Johnson? Didn't he win American Idol once?
Yeah, he did. He's actually from here. And I know him. Caleb Williams, sorry.
The old Irwin High grad himself.
Yeah, sorry. Got a lot of stuff going on over here.
Indeed. All right, so you would have gone with alignment. That makes a lot of sense as well.
That's what I would have done and wouldn't really have thought about it all that much. But then again, I'm like a lot of the industry. I am not wild. I'm not wild about this draft class. I have Quentin Johnston as the one. I'm looking to next year. Receiver is something that I can fill so easily. And I just don't have to do it right here.
Yep. Well, Jeremy's got the odd picks, and if anybody wanted to know why he's got the odd picks, because he refused to let me have it.
This is not why I have the odd picks. I have the odd picks because I'm the draft guy, and there's more odd picks than there are evens. That's the only.
Sounds like.
That's the only reason I did that.
At number 13 on the clock is the New York Jets. Jets.
And we did not have a show yesterday, so it is time for me to break out a little birdie told me.
Ooh.
There is a better than zero chance that the Aaron Rodgers thing is not done before the draft.
Okay.
The Jets have moved into full FAFO mode with Green Bay of, I don't know what you think you're going to make us do. It is not coming. And so I was told yesterday there is a chance that the Jets make all three of their picks in between the first round and the 2 second rounders. And they look at Green Bay and go, what you going to do now? Because they have no fear.
Mm-hmm.
So you know this quite well. I'm real well connected to this team.
So say that again. They would give up what?
They would give up nothing before the draft. The deal wouldn't be done, so the Jets would make their picks.
And this wouldn't get done at the draft.
I struggle to believe it's going to get done at the draft. I mean, I'm not going to say it couldn't happen. I don't value it to be really likely.
Well, I would like for once for us to have Aaron Rodgers news at the draft that was actually worth
That was actually
something.
news?
Yeah.
Look, here's what I can tell you. The Jets are calling the bluff of the Green Bay Packers. You do not have a path out of this. And the 90% thing really scared Woody Johnson. When he said, I was 90% retired when I went into my darkness retreat, it scared Woody to death.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give up a first round pick, and this guy is going to bail out on me after a year.
It's not going to happen. You've been saying forever that they're not giving up the 13 pick anyway.
Vehemently been told there is nothing they can say, there is nothing we can do that will make us do that.
So it would be 2 second-round draft picks.
That's what I've always thought that was probably the solution. It's a 2 and then a conditional. Now, if you get to this point where we get past the draft, now I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. None. The money becomes more palatable for Green Bay after June 1st. And so I guess it could go on that long, but now you're going to give Jordan Love nothing out of this trade.
I cannot imagine that they would walk away from this without getting some kind of capital in this draft.
Yep, that's and just, back to that little birdie again. Yeah, there's a real prevailing thought of that around one Jet place, too, of you tell me again that you're going to wait until past the draft. Because we'll wait.
Right.
We don't care. We'll wait.
No, I've got 2 picks at the top of the second round. I got 42 and 43, and I'm just waiting for you to say, okay, give me one of those.
And I have 3 big needs, and I can probably fill all 3 of them if we make those picks.
Yep.
And then I'll give that to Aaron Rodgers, and you know what? We'll deal with those picks down the line. We'll figure that out.
I think that would be disastrous for Green Bay, but it's going to be a disaster with Jordan Love anyway. So at number 13, who are the Jets taking, Jeremy?
This is the first time I've had this guy with this team, and I just love saying it out loud. Peter Skoronski, offensive tackle out of Northwestern.
This is the first time you've mocked him?
This is the first time I've had Skoronski with the Jets.
Huh.
I couldn't figure out a way he got here. But I'm telling you right now, for as drunk in love on him as I am, you put him in that zone blocking scheme where I can use how athletic he is, there will be a lot of you that really regret passing on him. He's the perfect fit here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he could come in as a left tackle. I have him. He is aggressively higher than Broderick Jones for me. And for every person I've talked to, it's just where exactly is he going to fit in? But in this scheme, it could be on the left, it could be on the right. He is an ideal fit for what the New York Jets want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But his arms are short. Yeah, that's the thing. In this zone scheme, that really doesn't matter.
Right. Right, as we talked about the other day, he's got the ability to mitigate the short arms with his lateral quickness and step off the line. Okay. At number 14.
If that happens, our live coverage will be a lot of Jeremy just goes full Stone Cold Steve Austin and starts cracking him over his head.
Like you tried to do last year.
I didn't try to do that last year.
When you had Sauce Gardner, and then y'all got back up and got Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, no, that was just I'm trying not to cry on camera. This is entirely different.
That was when he started
now the
to
team's
believe.
really good, so it's going to be bad.
Yep. That's when he started to believe that this team was making a turn. Number 14.
Oh, and Sloan Jordan did comment this, and it's a great point. Peter Skoronski's grandfather, do you know who he played for?
Was it the Jets?
The Green Bay Packers.
Oh, the Green Bay Packers.
Which is just a great big, speaking of Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's a big old double bird. Hey, bet you wish you could have done that, don't you?
The New England Patriots have the 14th pick in the first round. And I don't really know.
This is the first pick. I have genuinely no idea what you're going to say.
What Bill Belichick is thinking is hard to do, or is hard to gauge, because he always seems to throw some kind of curveball out there.
There's one that
the Cole Strange pick last year was just
strange.
Yeah, went off the board. 3 rounds off the board. 2 rounds off the board.
Yeah, he was
to
a
take
late
him in the
2,
first
early
round.
3. It wasn't as huge of a reach as everybody made it out to be, and he actually wound up being pretty good at times.
I mean, look at the best available players here at number 14. Do we need a safety?
Not really, no.
I was thinking Brian Branch. There's that Alabama connection, the laziness of Bill Belichick really likes Alabama players. Do I need a tackle? Could we go Broderick Jones?
You could,
it
but I
makes
think this is
some sense, but I don't really feel like that's a big need. To me, the biggest need for them is a weapon.
Oh, we're doing this.
We are doing this. Number 1 wide receiver in the class, Quentin Johnston, out of Texas Christian.
Your timing of that button is getting really confusing to me.
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes.
Let me say the name and then hit the button.
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes. Quentin Johnston.
I get it. It's by no stretch is it what I would have done. Bill has notoriously not done things like this. And then you wrap in the fact that the biggest knock on him is some drops. I know why you did it. I 100% know why you did it.
Because I want Bailey Zappi to have the best in this world.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell you that. This would have been easy Nolan Smith for me. That's a Bill Belichick move. You go get a guy that's a valuable piece on the defense, or Devin Witherspoon, who still hasn't come off the board very confusingly to me. Because Jalen Mills is not good at football. But look, I love Quentin Johnston. This is probably, of all the places he could go, this is probably my least favorite. I just don't think he fits in that offense at all. He's one of those that I could see having a big drop, and then Bill just super glues him to the bench. And the next thing you know, he is, I don't know, N'Keal Harry. You remember when we did that? I loved him too.
But is he not better than N'Keal Harry?
He's better than N'Keal Harry, yeah. He's far more athletic. I mean, I think his high side is super high. I'm just not sure you're going to see that with Bailey Zapp and with this team.
Yeah, maybe not.
He is an outside weapon, though, for New England, and it does make sense. It's just not where I think Bill would go.
That brings us to the number 15 pick.
A team that's been off discussed and not done squat.
Nope. It's the Green Bay Packers on the clock next. Jeremy, again, has the odds. He'll be making the pick when we return.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Chun's Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound crawling between Bavard Road and Airport Road. An accident has this roadway shut down. 26 westbound crawling between Chimney Rock Road to approaching Airport Road. 40 westbound Haywood County is crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 westbound, then stop and go between Fines Creek Road and Harmon Den Road. 40 on the eastbound side slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road southbound, stop and go between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound, delays between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, slow between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road in Hendersonville. Hendersonville Road northbound is slow between I-26 and Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. I'm Lincoln Fuel with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing has parts and accessories to keep your truck rolling right. Parts like lift kits, intakes, exhaust, tires, lighting, and more. From custom grills to tonneau covers, Summit Racing has you covered. SummitRacing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Imagine transforming your outdoor space into a stylish and functional area for relaxation and entertainment. Imagine superior durability and longevity, ensuring that your investment lasts for years to come. Imagine whatever you'd like. Decorators Composite Decking, Railing, Balusters, and Accessories can help you create a deck that reflects your personal style and provides an inviting space for you and your loved ones to gather. Make your vision a reality. To learn more, visit decorators.com. That's decorators with a K.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah! Every Friday.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
We're back in the Ingles studio on ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy's final live mock draft before draft day. In 2 weeks, Jeremy and I trading off picks. He's got the odds, I've got the evens, and we left off at an odd pick here. Number 15, it is the Green Bay Packers.
I know Packer fans hate when I do this, but this is a pick that has stayed the same for me. Go ahead and hit your little button. Brian Branch, safety out of Alabama. If I have one more person say to me, "But he ran so slow," I don't care. I don't think you understand that the combine is it's a tool that's in the weapon or in the tool belt of all of us that do this. It's not the end all be all. And if you watch the tape, he's the best safety in this class by 11 billion times. It's not even close. And then you get into, okay, well, what else are you going to do? Lucas Van Ness, you're assuming he can stand up. Mm-hmm. Nolan Smith, you're assuming he can play inside in a 3-4. You're assuming a lot of things. And I don't hate either of those picks. I know exactly what this kid is. Immediately. He's going to be able to lock up guys in the slot. He's going to be really rangy. And you give me that as another tool in my tool belt because I don't really care what you do to the offense. It's not going to be all that great. You're going to run the ball particularly well. You will play action with Jordan Love, And hopefully those 3 young weapons you have will be enough to move you down the line. I considered Michael Mayer here, but that's about the only other player I even thought about because Brian Branch is such a natural fit. I have long said he's either going 13 to the Jets or 15 to the Packers. I don't see a way he falls any further. And if you look at who he's talked to a good amount, it really steers into I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
I love the kid. I don't care that in a straight line. Well, he doesn't run particularly fast in a straight line. Okay, yeah, he's really instinctive on a football field, though. He's got a lot of high-level tape out of the best football conference in the world. That's not the NFL. So the best collegiate conference by a mile, the closest thing to the NFL we have, and he was a dog. In a, by the way, secondary that was not all that good last year.
Mm-hmm.
Eli Ricks was a disaster. He held a lot of it together. I love Brian Branch. I have the entire time, and the slander of him really irritates me.
That brings us to the number 16 pick. It's the Washington Commanders. And this is that situation where I will sprint to the podium to make the selection. With the number 16 pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Commies out of Washington are good.
They're the Commanders, not the Communists.
The Commandos will select Devin Witherspoon, cornerback out of Illinois.
Yeah, if you'd done anything else, I probably would have had to have overruled you.
It's a physical corner that can come in and be an immediate impact for this secondary that, well, is lacking.
He's the best cover guy in this draft. Now, there are some red flags that make me a little bit nervous to him compared to Christian Gonzalez and Joey Porter, and it's more just that he's a little thin. That's it. In our YouTube comments, Robert Johnson
I'm your huckleberry.
said, no, we need offensive line for Sam Howell. Give it time. We're going to get to that. The offensive line's not nearly as bad as you think.
Mm-hmm.
If Devin Witherspoon's on the board here, you cannot let him go. And frankly, if any of these top 3 corners are on the board, you cannot let them go.
Absolutely.
Because the drop-off from 3 to 4 at corner and the drop-off from 4 to, say, 7 on the offensive line is light years apart. You can get second-round offensive linemen that will come in and start immediately. I'm not going to say there aren't guys that couldn't start. There are none of them that have a chance at being a number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Not one.
If Jeremy Greene's prognostications prior to past NFL drafts had come to fruition, this would be a killer secondary.
Oh, no doubt.
The problem is that I don't feel like it is. Benjamin St-Juste, fine player.
There will be no Benjamin St-Juste slander on this here program.
You have Cameron Dantzler, who you really liked in the draft process.
I didn't like him nearly as much as I liked. I mean, he was the second corner.
Right. Tariq Castro-Fields was a deep divey guy, along with Rashad Wildgoose, one of the best names from, 3 drafts ago? But you no doubt inject talent into this secondary with the Devin Witherspoon pick.
Now, Pennywise just commented, it just echoed the same thing, and I believe he's a Washington Commanders fan as well. I get that you're after offensive line help. You're down to Broderick Jones. If that's the best lineman on your team, which that's to take him this high, that would have to be your premise.
Mm-hmm.
Your line will never be good. Ever. Because he, for a guy that has that much skill, is super raw. I need a player that can play right now because I think this Washington team is pretty good. I really do. I think this team is pretty good. And the thing that scares me is that I'm looking in your division now going, the Giants are going to do something. I don't know what it is. I really struggle to believe they're going to stop with Jamison Crowder and bringing back Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. They're going to do something. In your own division, you have CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown and now Brandon Cooks and Devontae Smith. You better have somebody that can not lock down, but that can play as a true one. You don't. Cameron Dantzler's not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
None of these guys are that guy. Devin Witherspoon can be that guy.
Yep.
And defensively, that gives you a shot to you mix that with how good that pass rush can be. Now defensively, you're getting somewhere. Do you need more pieces? Absolutely. I can only make one pick. It's not like I can say, well, we have a lot of needs. So you know what? You just let me have 2.
We're going to take 3 guys.
We're actually going to take 3 right here, and everybody's just going to be cool with
it. So the pick at number 16, Devin Witherspoon, the corner out of Illinois.
I love him so much. And just we got to take a quick break so we can keep moving right along here. There is a lot of rumor that Vegas seems to be really high on Devin Witherspoon right now. I don't know what has changed because nobody has namely told me what it is. Because I feel like I've been defending him like I was his attorney for 3 months I do not see why you have this kid so far behind the other 2. It seems that the traction is getting there, that there is a team somewhere that really loves him.
The final live 2023 NFL mock draft here in the Sportsocracy before draft day, coming up in 2 weeks at ESPN Draft Nerd. Flostradamus Jeremy Greene is up next with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up into the Friday forecast, and we're watching some big rains today down across Georgia, moving up into South Carolina, coming up from the south. As the coastal low marches across the Carolinas for Friday. 54 degrees our low tonight, increasing storm chances overnight and into Friday. Thunderstorms Friday, high 67, low 49, partly cloudy Saturday, high 76. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 eastbound crawling between Bavard Road and Airport Road. An accident has this roadway shut down. 26 westbound crawling between Chimney Rock Road to approaching Airport Road. 40 westbound Haywood County is crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 westbound, then stop and go between Fines Creek Road and Harmon-Den Road. 40 on the eastbound side, slow between Fines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound, slow between Bavard Road and Sand Hill Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road southbound, stop and go between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound, delays between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, slow between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road in Hendersonville. Hendersonville Road northbound is slow between I-26 and Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound, slow approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Denny's. Know what time it is? It's diner time. And now Denny's presents the new Diner Classics Plus menu with instant classics like the new Spicy Moons made with spicy chorizo and jalapenos, or the new red, white, and blue buttermilk pancakes. Craving breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anything in between? At Denny's, it's diner time.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now.
Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Hey, I go to church, just not during televised sporting events.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, our final live mock draft before draft day. 2 weeks from today, we will cover each and every pick of the NFL draft live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat. You agree with today's picks? You don't like today's picks? Let us know in the chat. We will shout you out.
And we've had several already super chat their comments on their teams. We highlight those as well. Just that simple, and it goes directly into the draft night beverage fund.
Apparently, some Commandos fans upset that we didn't take a linebacker there.
Yeah, there's not a linebacker to take there. Nolan Smith and Jamin Davis. That's who, buddy. You just trust me. You didn't trust me on Jamin Davis. Maybe you trust me on the second time. There is a linebacker that fits really nice with him, but he'll be available in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you couldn't take him over Devin Witherspoon.
All right, continuing here with the number 17 pick. I got the even picks. I made the Devin Witherspoon pick for the Commandos. Jeremy at 17 with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't have to think about this all that much. Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. I have been told this is his drop-dead spot.
Mm-hmm.
He is not, no matter what happens, he is not falling past this because the Steelers really like him. They think there is a lot of high-end upside with him. This would be a spot for Nolan Smith as well if he wasn't here, which is possible. But if I look at Pittsburgh and go, I like this team way better than I should, but I still have a problem on at the tackle spot. I love what they've done on the interior of this line. Between Soamalu this year, James Daniels last year, it's just this is an ideal fit. Now, Broderick Jones is more talented than I have seen him play, but you give him a year. I think he would start on the right side in Pittsburgh. Might even start on – this might be the one spot he starts on the left side. And they just go, you know what? We'll take our lumps. We've seen it with Dan Moore. You're better than Dan Moore just by walking in the building. Now, I love Dan Moore, but the fact he's played snaps at left tackle still makes my head hurt. You're the Georgia guy. What's your
Broderick Jones?
Yeah.
Hell of a player. He's a hell of a player, and he's going to get the job done for you. Look, what can I add to what you have already said? It's a great player, good guy to have in the locker room. I've never heard a bad word about the kid.
Neither have I.
And to me, that
he has crushed the interview process.
And to me, that screams Pittsburgh Steelers. A team that once made its hay on having a hell of an offensive line. For some reason, the last 4 years, I mean, that talent aged, left, and you haven't been able to rebuild it since.
Eat and Sleep Football said there's no way we're taking Broderick Jones over Nolan Smith. Okay, I've got to do this because it's driving me crazy. Because seemingly every team we talk about, they want Nolan Smith.
Yes.
He's a good player. There is still a huge question mark as to what position he plays. He was a second-round pick coming into this process. I get that he ran a 4.39. How many times do we have to do this? And teams get burned by that before we get to the, oh, yeah, that guy's not going to go as high as I think he is. Because if you're telling me he's an edge rusher, he's a 220-pound edge rusher. That's a little feller. By the way, there's a corner that will go in this draft that is bigger than Nolan Smith. So I get that y'all love him because he ran so fast. He doesn't actually have a position right now. Mm-hmm. So, okay, and if you're telling me you're going to put him on the inside of a 3-4, yes.
Which is where I have a problem at the next pick. At number 18, the Detroit Lions are sitting there. They need talent on the defense. They've been building over the last couple of years. And I looked at it and I went, Nolan Smith would make a lot of sense here. But I look at this. I look at the scheme, and I don't know, because I don't see him as a middle linebacker. Do you?
I see him as an off ball in a 4-3. That's where I think his best fit is.
Mm-hmm. And so Detroit's got Malcolm Rodriguez, and they've got James Houston. Do I want to use that draft capital at 18 to throw Nolan Smith into the mix? Does that make sense to you?
It would make sense. I mean, I can't tell you definitively it's what I would do, but it makes sense. One other thing, Eat and Sleep Football said, when was the last time we took an offensive lineman in the first round? His name was David DeCastro. It's the best first-round pick you've had in 11 years. And you have a new GM that's really trying to put his stamp on this. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, you don't have Ben Roethlisberger anymore. You now have a quarterback that you have to prop up. So, I mean, I'm not telling you that – could I tell you they're not going to take Nolan Smith over Broderick Jones? No, but I can tell you that that's the name that comes up with Pittsburgh constantly. Sorry, didn't mean to be inside there.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I like it. I like the fact that we can talk this out here, because it helps me make what I feel like could be a good decision. More talk is always better. At 18, though, I think the Detroit Lions would happily go to the podium to make this pick. You may say this might be too high for this guy, but I just got rid of my tight end.
Oh, boy.
I'm taking Michael Mayer.
Oh, they're going to hate you. Oh, as the guy that does this a lot, you're about to get drugged.
But why?
Well, because you just replaced T.J. Hawkinson with his doppelganger with a first-round pick.
And why is that a bad thing?
I've been drugged for giving them the tight end in the second round. So you mark my words, as the guy that makes all these picks, if you're having a sensitive day, I'd probably close YouTube right now. And I'm gonna live with you. I don't hate it. I love Michael Mayer. Mm-hmm. The hate on him to me is stupid, and it all comes from the fact that he only ran a 4.7 or whatever it was in shorts. I don't care. Mm-hmm. He is a phenomenal tight end. He's the best blocker in this class other than Darnell Washington, and he's a legit receiver.
Yep.
So, I mean, I get it totally.
I'm gonna give you more weapons, or a weapon at a position that I don't already have one. I've already got running backs.
Trust me.
I've already got wide receivers.
I'll do it for you. We had more touchdowns last year from tight ends than anybody in the league. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. Yeah, and one of them's Brandon Zylstra, and he's not very good at football.
Right.
So, look, I'm not going to bang on your pick. You're about to get bludgeoned.
That's fine. That's fine. You can agree to disagree, but my name's on the door. I own the pick.
It's undermined. Just to
be clear. He's like, it's undermined. Michael Mayer is the pick for the Detroit Lions.
I'm shocked he didn't say, well, we did that alphabetically. Did we, though?
I mean, that was your claim when you put it on the door.
Sometimes you lie. Sometimes you say things just to get what you want. Now, look, I have no qualm with it. And Mayer is one of those players that I feel like the further we've gone in this process, the more he has been devalued in spite of the fact he hasn't played one snap.
Mm-hmm.
And those are almost always guys that wind up being just premium values. Because you're getting away from what really matters. I don't care what you did in a pair of shorts. I mean, the next snap that we play, where every player on the field's wearing a pair of a little cutoff T-shirt and a pair of shorts, you let me know. I've been doing this a long time. I ain't never seen one.
No.
So I think it's a formidable selection. I would not do it with the Lions.
Rob Johnson says the Lions should take a corner or an edge rusher.
Corner, I disagree. If I was going to take a corner, I would have stuck at 6. Edge rusher, they really like James Houston. There's another player that I probably would have leaned on here.
Right, and your choices here are Miles Murphy, Lucas Van Ness.
It's too early for Miles Murphy. I could have gotten down with Lucas Van Ness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite know how he fits in that scheme.
I just feel like they have a lot of young pass rush pieces.
They have a lot of young defensive pieces, period.
Right, but they're trying to develop these guys and throwing another guy in here that I'm not sold anybody left on the board at edge is a great talent.
Oh, I would disagree with that. I am of the belief that one of these picks for Detroit's going to be offensive, one of them's going to be defensive. Now, which way you go with that, it could be as simple as you take Tyree Wilson at 6 and then Bijan Robinson, that's his drop dead spot at 18. Mm-hmm. Do I love that? No. I mean, I love both of the talents. I'm not 100% sure how that fits. And I'm never one of those guys that goes, hey, we need this. What's the average age of your defense right now in the front 7? Because the oldest guy I can think of is 25 years old.
Mm-hmm. Is that Romeo Okwara?
I never could pronounce his name. Owuzariki, I think, is the youngest, or is the oldest one I can remember.
Oh, yeah, Levi
Owuzariki. So, I mean, for me, I want to add vets. And I wouldn't be shocked if they were a team that started using draft capital to acquire veteran guys.
Mm-hmm.
But, look, I like Michael Mayer. I'm gonna trade my selection.
The number 19 pick?
Yeah. Okay. I got my team. You said the reason that we did this was because Jeremy could make the pick of his team. All right.
So you're trading the selection to me so I can make the pick for my team?
Yep. And I'll steal one to be named later.
Okay. Well. Okay, fine. You're going to bait me into doing it.
I'm also waiting for you to just get drug in the comments because usually that's my role. And it's a lot more fun for me when they turn on you.
Well, number 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what I'm going to do.
I do know what you're going to do.
It's Nolan Smith.
There it is.
If Devin White's no longer going to be a part of this team,
which is entirely possible.
Right. You're going to need to replace that somehow. Now, I just said, before you go back and say, oh, you just said you don't want him to play on the inside.
Nope.
I really don't. I don't want him to play on the inside, but to me, he's more of a move piece. He can cover. He can play in the middle at times. He can play on the outside. I'm not going to put him, I'm not going to put him on the front, but I'm going to stand him up on the other side from Shaq Barrett. Keep Joe Tryon Shoyinka as the situational guy.
See, that's where Tryon Shoyinka is where this actually doesn't. I don't love what you just did. But the reason that I don't just absolutely hate it is because people forget Tryon Shoyinka played on the inside in college, and I screamed from the rooftops. That's his better position in the NFL. Now, this is a bit of a projection because I think Todd Bowles has got one foot in the grave and one foot on a banana peel. So does it fit what they do right now all that well? No. But I could easily see a complete upheaval a year from now, and you're starting to take these pieces you have and put them in places that fit.
Yeah,
Todd Bowles has always been one of those people that just kicking and screaming. It doesn't matter. We are going to do this my way, whether it makes sense or not.
He's a malleable piece that the next administration can use.
Rob Johnson asked, "Is Nolan Smith comparable with Isaiah Simmons?" They have similarities. And my answer to this is going to be a little cyclical. They have similarities, and I'm not sure that Isaiah Simmons is not going to push Nolan Smith down a little bit because he's the last ridiculous athlete that had no position. Well, guess what? In the NFL, he's had no position. He's played 7 different spots for the Arizona Cardinals. And he's not been particularly great at any of them. And there's been no traction of He does this. And that's my fear. And what you just – I'm actually glad you did this. My fear is that Nolan Smith's going to wind up with one of these teams with a really rigid defensive coach, and you're never going to have a spot that makes any sense. I have said I want him to play off ball in a 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really care. Genuinely don't really care which team that is. And this is one of those fits. I was just looking. This has bad news bears written all over it. Just bad news bears written all over it. I like the kid. But, I mean, if you remember, before he ever ran at the combine, I said, I don't know what position this kid plays.
Yes.
And then you tried to explain to me what you thought it was. And about the 7th comma, I went,
That's
yep,
it.
That's it. That's the problem.
That's it. That's too much explanation needed to say what he can do in this league. But you said sum up what he does in one sentence. And hell, I can do it in one word. Everything. Can he do everything all the time? No. But he can cover. He can pass rush. He's a hell of a sideline-to-sideline tackler. He could get you an interception here or there. I don't ever see him playing at safety or corner like Isaiah Simmons has done. But pretty much on that second level, he can do any of those things.
Lionel Roca in our YouTube comments was screaming at you for not taking defense for the Lions. He made both the picks. However, we do have A-plus mock drafts coming out, and just because you just said that and because of what he drafted, I'm starting with the Lions. That'll be out tomorrow after the show.
Indeed. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be time for the 20th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, which we will cover live in the Sportsocracy 2 weeks from today. Stick with us.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound delays between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. 26 eastbound is crawling between I-40 and the French Broad River. 26 on the westbound side crawling between Chimney Rock Road and Hendersonville Road. 40 eastbound is slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. 40 eastbound again slow between Hendersonville Road and 240 Charlotte Highway. 40 westbound slow between NC 209 and US 276. Again, 40 westbound slow between Vines Creek Road and Harmondin Road. New Leicester Highway westbound crawling between Patton Avenue and Eve Lake Road. Brevard Road southbound, stop and go between Pole Cressman Road and Long Shoals Road. Hendersonville Road southbound, delays between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound again, slow between Old Airport Road and I-26. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between I-26 and Fanning Bridge Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week. Check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty.
The #1 health podcast in the world, thanks to each and every one of you that come back every week to listen, learn, and grow.
Sharing his conversations with the biggest stars in the world.
There is no perfect person that you find. It's who you make it work with.
On Purpose with Jay Shetty. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
Fuel your future at Firehouse Subs. We're locally owned and offer the best in hearty food and heartfelt service. Hiring for the Patton Avenue, Weaverville, Airport Road, Tunnel Road, and Cherokee locations. Apply in person. Firehouse Subs. Equal opportunity employer.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The final live mock draft before draft night. 2 weeks from today. Just a reminder, we've got 3-round mock drafts for each and every team. The rest of those are going to be going out tonight after this show. And then we're going to start with the A-plus mock drafts over the weekend here on the YouTube stream. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, and subscribe to the channel. Number 20 in today's exercise is the Seattle Seahawks. I've got the even picks, so I get to make this one. And there are some needs for this team, but I think edge rusher is the biggest need. And I'm going to take Lucas Van Ness, the edge rusher out of Iowa.
I can say nothing against that. He's one of my favorite in this class. There's a lot of, well, he didn't even start. I don't care. Tell me you don't know how Iowa works without telling me you don't know. I've had a thought that he could go in the top 10. And a lot of the betting services and different things like that really seem to think that he's got some traction to go even higher than this. Mm-hmm. He ain't falling past this. The raw tape on him, the pass rush win rate, all of these different things, it's too high. It's just too high for him to fall, I think, any further than this. I think it's too high for him to fall this far. Mm-hmm. And there are people that think he can play inside of a 4-man front and just be a terrifying interior piece early and then be the absolute terrifying edge. He's just a really good player.
Right. So he comes in, slots in as a defensive end in the 3-4 scheme.
Andreas Pinckney said I would have gone Osiris Torrance from Florida there at 20. He asked me that, and I said there's a possibility that Torrance will be there in the second round. Mm-hmm. Not because he's not a good player, just I don't know if it's because there's so many of them, but the traction on him has waned as we've gone through this, which probably means he'll go at 20 because I had that originally, and now I've leaked off.
Just so we're clear, I did consider that. I was told it was too early for Osiris Torrance. So
with Van Ness on the board.
Yes.
Now, if he was gone and it was, hey, we can have him or Miles Murphy, Osiris Torrance.
Let's go Osiris Torrance. Sports Center update is coming up next, and we'll pick it back up with pick number 21.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up into the Friday forecast, and we're watching some big rains today down across Georgia, moving up into South Carolina, coming up from the south. As a coastal low marches across the Carolinas for Friday. 54 degrees our low tonight, increasing storm chances overnight and into Friday. Thunderstorms Friday, high 67, low 49, partly cloudy Saturday, high 76. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic stop and go, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound delays between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. 26 eastbound is crawling between I-40 and the French Broad River. 26 on the westbound side crawling between Chimney Rock Road and Hendersonville Road. 40 eastbound is slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. 40 eastbound again slow between Hendersonville Road and 240 Charlotte Highway. 40 westbound slow between NC 209 and US 276. Again, 40 westbound slow between Vines Creek Road and Harmondin Road. New Leicester Highway westbound crawling between Patton Avenue and Eve Lake Road. Brevard Road southbound stop and go between Pole Cressman Road and Long Shoals Road. Hendersonville Road southbound delays between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road southbound again slow between Old Airport Road and I-26. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between I-26 and Fanning Bridge Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito is now at Taco Bell. 2 servings of grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer inside, plus grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact local stores for prices, hours, and participation which vary. Tax extra.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Spotlight here on Sports Center. Dan and Tanya Snyder have reached a preliminary agreement to sell the team to a group led by Josh Harris, who co-owns the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils. All this according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. The sale price for the Commanders, $6.05 billion. The deal is not exclusive. It is not signed. That also means a group could come in and buy the team right from underneath. Sources tell Schefter the group led by Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos is still involved in the process. Round 1 of the NBA playoffs starts Saturday. Top-seeded Bucks. They won't play until Sunday. Head coach Mike Budenholzer said today Chris Middleton was a full participant in practice. He works his way back from a sore right knee. He hasn't played since April 5th. 7-run fifth. The Rays have a 13-0 start. They beat the Red Sox 9-3 at the Trop today.
Coming up Friday, I'll tell you which NBA All-Star has a chance to make the leap to superstar with a big playoff run. Keyshawn J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Happy. That's happy. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy live from the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. If you're just joining us, it is a live mock draft. The last one we will do live here on the ESPN show until draft night. 2 weeks from tonight, and every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft will be covered live by us on the YouTube stream. So make sure you connect with us. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And you can, better yet, join us in the chat.
And next week, there's a really good possibility that we're going to have information of how you can watch the draft live with us. I'm so excited.
We've been asked for the last 2 years to do a live draft party that you can attend. And it just makes all the sense in the world. So we'll let you know if we can make that happen. Anyhow, Jeremy and I are trading off. He's got the odd picks in this draft. I've got the even picks. And we're up to number 21 with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Go, Chargers, go!
I can't wait to see what you do with this one.
Well, I mean, for me, Bijan Robinson is who I want. If I'm the Chargers, I'm going into this draft going, this is Bijan Robinson no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I had I considered moving up to get him.
But you couldn't get ahead of Philadelphia.
No.
You're not giving
getting
up that
into the
much
top
capital.
10, that's more than I can afford to give up. I got Austin Eckler for a year. I feel like the defense is will bounce back just because there's too many good players on it. I mean, J.C. Jackson, A, he didn't play much, but B, when he did, he was awful.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine that's going to continue. So I feel like I've got a lot of the things in place that I need. There's one spot that I feel like I'm lacking, and that's speed. Zay Flowers, wide receiver out of Boston College.
That's a hell of a pick.
I mean, if you need speed, he's a great one to throw out there.
But now this gives you 4 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Keenan Allen's coming to the final days.
Keenan Allen's got 1 year left before he is no longer with the Chargers. And the reason I went Zay Flowers instead of Jordan Addison, because I'm not going to lie to you, it was close.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Addison's going to play in the slot way more often. And Zay Flowers is no matter what happens, I'm going to have a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And even if everybody stays healthy, I got a package where he's the over the top, he plays on the outside, and it just opens up everything for me. He can play in the slot. Somebody asked me the other day if Zay Flowers could play in the slot, because I think I've defended that he doesn't have to do just that.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely can. It's just that's not all he does.
Right.
And so you add this to the Chargers, it gives another weapon to Herbert, and now your offense is even more terrifying than it was before. I considered a tight end there.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I would like to have a nose tackle too, but there's not one worth taking this high.
That brings us to number 22 with the Baltimore Ravens. One of the most interesting teams in this draft.
I'm really curious what you're about to do.
Because I don't know where this is headed. Is Lamar going anywhere? Are we keeping Lamar? Is he going to play on the franchise tag? Are we going to get him to a long-term deal or longer-term deal than just the 1 year guaranteed $32.5 million or whatever it is on that franchise tag? I don't know that I see another team coming to get him. I figure if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. Or we would at least have heard that there's a bidding war going on. Baltimore, we always say, is one of the best drafting teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And there always seems to be a player that's on the board when they come around that makes the most sense for one of their key needs. And I feel like one of their key needs is on the offensive line. You told me it was too early, but I'm going Osiris Torrance, the guard out of Florida. You put him on that offensive line, and I've locked it down. Do you like it or do you hate it? Yeah, that face doesn't make me feel like you like it.
Of all the names I thought you could possibly say right there, that one never even crossed my mind.
But why?
Okay, so would you say that's one of their biggest needs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why do you say that? Because that doesn't make even the vaguest lick of sense to me.
Really?
No, you have Ben Cleveland that
Mm-hmm.
didn't play enough last year. He was the replacement to Powers.
Mm-hmm.
You've already got Kevin Zeitler. You've already got
33 years old.
I mean, I got that, but Baltimore's not really in we put a guy in mothballs for a year. I mean, he would take over for Cleveland.
I was going to say
he would take over for Cleveland, then Cleveland would slide in to replace Zeitler.
The way this team gets dinged with injuries every year wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm a little mystified at how you bypass Jordan Addison. I'm a little. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't need a wide receiver. You got Odell Beckham Jr. It's all sewed up. We don't need any more weapons on this team.
Stop that. I mean, I would have also been intrigued by an edge guy. That, I mean, frankly, there are a few pieces that I could have gone with here. He fits what they do. I'm not telling you he doesn't. It's just I was not prepared for you to say that. But this would be the place every time where I go, I love him. Mm-hmm. He's top 10 on my big board overall. Just that is not a place that I had slotted him at any point. Now, you talk about it, they may never throw the ball again. Like, Odell Beckham may get 9 targets the entire year because it's now we're running an old Lou Holtz power eye offense like I ran at Notre Dame.
Running the wishbone. Let's go.
There's no better offense you play than the wishbone offense. It's a great way to move the ball. Wow. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
All right, so that puts me up with the Minnesota Vikings, who are probably really angry that Zay Flowers is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a receiver. And for me, there's only one that I can take here. It's Jordan. Maddeningly inconsistent with that button. It's Jordan Addison, the wide receiver out of USC. I know he's got size issues because he is so thin.
Mm-hmm.
He's also just open all the time. Didn't matter if it was at Pittsburgh. Didn't matter if it was with Kenny Pickett, Caleb Williams, USC. Doesn't matter. He's just open all the time. And so for me, he's more of a slot than Zay Flowers. So it doesn't give me as much flexibility as they would have, but he might be a better player. And I always wax poetic about Zay Flowers. You've always struck me as you like Jordan Addison better. Is that true or?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
I like Zay a little better, but it's more that I just feel like he can do more.
Mm-hmm.
But Addison has been more of a big play, consistent threat.
To me, he's a vacuum cleaner.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Whatever you get, wherever you put the ball around him, he's going to suck it up. And so if that's what you're hoping that your guy pans out, Zay Flowers, those little speedsters that sometimes have a hard time holding on to the ball might not pan out too well. You're going to get a steady go-to guy with Jordan Addison.
I don't know that I've ever said this about a wide receiver before. He might be top 5 safest players in this class. I see no bust there whatsoever.
I agree.
I don't see a way he comes in this league and 5 years from now we go, can you believe they did that in the first round? And he's the only receiver in this draft that I feel that way about. Even as much as I love Zay, he's the only one I can say that about.
Fair enough. Number 24, the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock. It's an even pick, so it's my turn again. And I've heard that they really like this guy. Jeremy has told me time and time again that they really like this guy. I don't know if 24 is too early.
If you're asking me, it probably is.
I know.
Does he play at the school that
he does?
Oh, this is
way too early.
I'm going to drag you.
What?
He could go in the third round. If you're about to take who I think you are, he could go in the third round.
No, that's why I'm asking, because I don't know.
Keely, if you're about to take
Keely with him,
you're about to take Keely Ringo, I'm going to drag you.
Okay.
Yeah,
then that answers
he
my
is
question.
A third round pick I would say if they took him with their second round pick, I would say around the league we'll go, that might have been a little early because the tape is awful. So, yeah, no. Keely Ringo's not going in the first.
He said, no, do not do that. Do not take Keely Ringo.
I mean, maybe Bill does it just to make everybody's brain bleed, but that's the only way that's happening.
Okay. We do know they like Clemson players, though.
Oh. Ah, yes. Now, this would make sense.
It's Brian Breeze.
That's not the one I thought
That's
you were
not
saying.
the one. He thought I was going to take Miles Murphy.
I did.
No. I don't know what it is about Brian Breeze. You can enlighten me as to why his draft stock has fallen so much.
It's not that it's fallen so much. I don't think it was ever as high as everybody wanted it to be.
Okay.
See, we came into the season thinking he was going to take that big step forward, and then there were the injuries and the tragedy with his sister, and you didn't see it. So now I'm having to go back to 2 years ago. The tape didn't get any better. He lost an insane amount of weight when he got sick. And so, yeah, now there's just a lot of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could make the argument that there's a lot of untapped potential there with him, and I get it. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, you put me another defensive tackle to throw in their current rotation, I don't feel like that's a bad move. I just don't understand the wide receiver thing. Do you go the wide receiver route?
I don't.
At 24?
No, but I've heard they love Jordan Addison.
Right. I keep hearing that they want to go after another weapon, but for why? I feel like you're good on the weapons.
You can never have enough weapons.
Yeah, I guess.
Look, I mean, the NFL in the whole now, you need 4. You need 4.
Well, I've got 4. I got 3 wide receivers and Evan Ingram.
Who you've got for a year. I mean, I get it. I think the thing that I'm confused by is in the base, he's going to have to rotate with Foley Fatakazi, which, I mean, makes sense because Breeze would be more of a pass rusher. I'm not 100% sure how he's going to hold up there.
Mm-hmm.
The talent is there. I haven't seen it progress the way I wanted it to. There's a reason we thought this kid was going to go in the top 10 going into this season. Things went differently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not one of those that thinks he's going to fall into the back of the second round, which I have heard from others. It's a little too far for me. Talented kid, but you talk about a lottery ticket, that's a lottery ticket.
Absolutely. And I feel like Jacksonville has enough young talent on that defense that they could afford it.
I don't disagree with that. That's 2 picks in a row where you've said a name, and I'm like, oh. I went to type it out and went, nope, that is not the order I thought my fingers were about to go in.
Not that one. All right, Brian Breeze, defensive tackle from Clemson at number 24 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That puts the New York Giants on the clock at number 25. Flostradamus makes the pick next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound again stop and go between Brevard Road and I-40. 240 on the eastbound side slow between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. 26 eastbound crawling between I-40 and Brevard Road. 26 westbound crawling between Upward Road and Hendersonville Road. 40 west and eastbound approaching Hendersonville Road delays. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road north and southbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road, traffic is crawling. Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between I-40 and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go between I-40 and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Now that you've taken on the big job doesn't mean you have to settle for big box. Northern Tool can help with the little things that make the biggest difference, from pressure washers to power tools and pallet jacks to push carts. They have what you need to get the job done. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Everybody is buzzing about Yellow Jackets on Showtime, including the cast.
This season will blow your mind. I actually dropped to the floor. Kind of freaky, kind of gory, and it's a little bit funny.
It's endlessly fascinating. I think people are going to freak out when they see that.
It's going to be real fun. If I wasn't on this show, I'd be watching just as fiercely.
This season of Yellow Jackets is wild.
If you haven't watched the show yet, get to it!
Yellow Jackets, new episodes streaming now, only on Showtime. And now, stream Showtime on Paramount+.
Fuel your future at Firehouse Subs. We're locally owned and offer the best in hearty food and heartfelt service. Hiring for the Patton Avenue, Weaverville, Airport Road, Tunnel Road, and Cherokee locations. Apply in person. Firehouse Subs. Equal opportunity employer.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
It is the final live mock draft, first round here in the Sportsocracy prior to the first round of the draft. 2 weeks from today. Cannot wait. All your draft miss coverage right here in the Sportsocracy on the YouTube stream, team-by-team content going out more tonight and over the weekend for the next 2 weeks.
We have all of the 3-round mock drafts that will now no matter who your team is, you will have one of those up on the stream. And then we get into the fun. 7 rounds of commercial-free draftmas.
All right, with the odd picks in this first round mock draft, Jeremy, you own all of these, and at number 25, you're on the clock with the New York Giants.
And I feel like we forced my hand here because there's not a receiver for me to take. Now, I think they could take one in the second round. I hear you forced my hand, so hit the button. Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. Cordell Flott weighs about $145. So to think he's going to play on the outside that's a little much for me. And you give me Deontay Banks and Adoree Jackson, I do not care. You give me the Miami Dolphins. Okay, I have 2 corners that can run with whatever you throw at me. This kid has screamed up the board because he was so fast. Mm-hmm. And it got us to go back and watch the tape and go, oh, he's actually pretty good. And they didn't have much of a pass rush, so they asked him to do a lot. But the more you watched Maryland, you went, wow, that for a defense that was as bad as it was, they were actually pretty talented. I really like this kid. Yeah. I mean, and I said, you're not often going to hear me say somebody that we mock in the first round where I just go, I hate him so much that I can't.
All right, that brings us to number 26.
Oh, before we move on, everything I hear about the Giants is they're either going receiver in round 1, or if something like this happens and just the entire roster of receivers is gone, they would go corner. Mm-hmm. And Deontay Banks is the next highest one on my board.
Well, that ticks me off because Dallas Cowboys sitting at number 26. That's who I was going to take.
Why?
Because they need a corner.
You have Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs. Of all the things this team needs, I'm going to pin this on the top of our channel and go, the next time somebody tells me, you don't draft for need ever, I swear I'm going to trim this and just go, okay, you go get him. Everybody's mean to me and comes up with stupid nicknames for me. Get him. No, corner is of all positions.
Not a need? Okay.
I'm not going to say it's the dead last thing they would take, but it's pretty high.
It's pretty high. Pretty high. All right. Well, how about a tight end?
Now, that is a much higher – that is a much bigger need.
You need a tight end? Because Dalton Kincaid is sitting right here.
Yeah, that's –
And I feel like the Dallas Cowboys and new play caller Mike McCarthy might just pull the trigger. Number 26 overall, Dalton Kincaid, tight end out of Utah.
If there was a prop bet somewhere where I could bet what position the Dallas Cowboys take in the first round, it would be a number that would be unsettling to many that I would put on tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. The thing I can't figure out which one it is. I think if they had their druthers, it would be Michael Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because he more fits what it is that Mike McCarthy is going to look for because he can block. Now, I feel like Dalton Kincaid gets this reputation that he can't block. He wasn't asked to block very often. His closest comp to me is the tight end he would be replacing.
Dalton Schultz.
Which is Dalton Schultz.
Yep.
And yes, I do see the irony that they have the same first name.
I mean, I have seen a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans on social media, and when tight end ever comes up, but we have Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot. Well, I mean, those are fun little guys that you can get behind. But you need somebody that could be a star. And neither of those guys are stars.
Well, I mean, I just look at it that if you add a player of this caliber to that Cowboy offense, I'm not sure how you're supposed to defend them. Because now you've got the guy that cannot be defended one-on-one in CeeDee Lamb. I've got the over-the-top threat, two of them actually, with Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks. And now I have a tight end that is just going to eat you alive inside with Dalton Kincaid.
Mm-hmm.
That opens up a lot for Tony Pollard. Look, I know Cowboy fans want Bijan Robinson, and I really hate to be the one that rains on your parade because, I feel like our relationship has improved so much over the last few weeks since you traded for Stephon Gilmore, and I said all the nice things. Bijan Robinson is not making it to 26. He's not. Under any circumstances, he's not making it down there to you. So unless you want to trade up to get him, you're going to have no Bijan Robinson.
Indeed. At number 27.
Oh, what team is it?
Come on. It's
nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
With all the odd picks, where are you going?
I would not have done this a month ago. But now the more I'm looking at Buffalo and I'm trying to fill needs and do what is going to do what will make me the best going into next year. There is a player that I feel like really fills a hole that was created by somebody taking a bag elsewhere. Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa.
Is this not too early for a linebacker?
It's not. I think he's going to be the first one that goes. Because you talk about a kid that can do everything, he's a kid that can do everything. And I've struggled with Buffalo because I think what I believe their needs are and what they believe their needs are different. I would be looking for an offensive lineman. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I could take Anton Harrison here. I stared at it, and that's what I should do. That's what I should do, and I'm going to do not that. He has screamed up boards, and some very well plugged in individuals have told me, do not be shocked if Jack Campbell goes in the last 5 picks of the first round. And as I have gone up and down trying to figure out who that could be with, the only team that makes sense is Buffalo.
Okay. Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa.
He would be a tremendous replacement to Jermaine Edmonds. And that's it. I feel like I've done a disservice with linebackers as we have gone through this process because I've made it sound like these top 4 guys are just completely interchangeable. They are. I don't know that I've ever seen 4 prospects that play the same position that were so just vehemently different. None of them have the same skill set. So you have Campbell here that I take with the Bills. Trenton Simpson, I don't love here, but I don't mind it. Drew Sanders, I absolutely hate. And I'm not as wild about Deion Henley. Because what I'm looking for this guy to do, Jack Campbell's the only one who can do it. Because I need you to be able to pass rush a little bit. And he's quite good at that. But I really need you to be able to cover. Because when you watch Buffalo last year, if Tremaine Edmonds was off the field or just whatever the case may be, the defense looked different. And now I'm going to get a full year of that if I don't do something. And is it high, which is what you started this with? If you go by value-based drafting and positional value and things like that, maybe. But this is where I fall in with mocks of, okay, I can take – give me a position that you think is a need for Buffalo.
Running back.
Yeah, there's no running back I'm taking here under any circumstances. Because Jahmyr Gibbs just doesn't fit with them. I was more thinking, like, what are the offensive line spots? Could I take a lineman here? Sure. There's a better chance that I will get a more, not a better player, but a better player compared to what I'm going to get a linebacker. Because if I don't take Campbell here, and all four guys I just said are off the board by the time you come up again, you are, this is full Ralph Wiggum time. I'm in danger because anybody that can run the ball is going to absolutely annihilate me. And tight ends are going to crush me, especially if I have any kind of issues with Hyde and Poyer.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll pick it back up after the break with the number 28 pick in the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up into the Friday forecast, and we're watching some big rains today down across Georgia, moving up into South Carolina, coming up from the south. As the coastal low marches across the Carolinas for Friday. 54 degrees our low tonight, increasing storm chances overnight and into Friday. Thunderstorms Friday, high 67, low 49, partly cloudy Saturday, high 76. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your Time Saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound again, stop and go between Bavard Road and I-40. 240 on the eastbound side, slow between Tunnel Road and Exit 8. 26 eastbound crawling between I-40 and Bavard Road. 26 westbound crawling between Upward Road and Hendersonville Road. 40 west and eastbound approaching Hendersonville Road, delays. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road, north and southbound approaching Fanning Bridge Road, traffic is crawling. Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go between I-40 and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go between I-40 and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and shop the final days of SpringFest at Lowe's and get the best values of the season before they're gone. Save big on the Ego 15-inch string trimmer. It was $219. Now it's $199. Shop Lowe's today. Valid through 4/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio! Here's Howie Long for Skechers hands-free slip-in footwear.
The world has gone hands-free. However, if you want to put on a pair of sneakers, you still need to bend down and help your feet in. Until now. Introducing Skechers hands-free slip-in footwear. You don't need to reach down to help your heel in. You just step into them and off you go. So what's the secret? Well, there's a special smooth comfort pillow in the heel that helps your foot slide into place. And they stay on just like a pair of laced-up sneakers.
Get hands-free slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about goofier than a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
It is the Sportsocracy and our final live mock draft before draft day coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today will be the start of the 2023 NFL Draft. We'll have each and every pick covered live on the YouTube stream.
And there's a great chance that you'll be able to join us live. And we'll tell you how you do that next week.
Indeed we will. And we're trading off picks here. Jeremy's got the odd ones. I've got the even ones. We've left off with the number 28 pick with the Cincinnati Bengals. And every mock that I've done, I can't get past something that you said to me, what was this, 2 weeks ago? Of Cincinnati wants to move on from one certain player, and a perfect replacement for him sits on the board here for them at number 28. So, with the 28th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jahmyr Gibbs, running back at Alabama.
Yeah, and look, he's going to come in and be more of a immediately, he's going to be more of a weapon in the passing game than he is between the tackles. It's really easy to find a running back that can run between the guards. Finding a running back that is this dynamic is much more difficult to do. And this is another one. I'm going to say the same thing about Jahmyr Gibbs that I just said about Jack Campbell. I've been told he's going in the back end of the first round for over a month.
Mm-hmm.
As you sit here and look at these teams, and that's how a lot of this information works, is that people start telling you this. And it's almost like, you remember the old Goosebump books where you had to flip to a certain page to get the ending to be what you wanted it to be? That's kind of how this is. They open it up and go, well, and now you finish it. Many times that's not hard to do. Other times it's a little more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Jahmyr Gibbs is going in the first round. I fully believe that at this point. I didn't believe it, and I've hedged my bets on that a little bit. But I do think he's going to go in the first round, and the Bengals make a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they move off Joe Mixon this year or not, I really, to be honest with you, I don't care. Because the two of them could coexist quite nicely. And then he's the ultimate heir apparent if they don't want to take the dead cap or whatever the case may be. You know, Joe Mixon's had some legal issues over the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And there are plenty of reports out there that Cincinnati's tired of this.
Yeah. I mean, and it wouldn't concern me if it was just a one-off. But he's been in trouble before.
Well, you had the situation where he pulled the gun on somebody in the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Then some kid got shot outside of his house, and it had something to do with his sister. We've never gotten a full beat on exactly what happened there. It's a lot of red flags.
Yep.
And people forget this. Joe Mixon had red flags coming into the league.
He did.
So it's not hard for me to figure out. This is a possibility. Stephen Tower, a resident Bengals fan, said, "Oh yeah, give the Bengals a weapon because they need one of those more than the Ravens do." I am going to sit back and laugh at the comments of this. I swear, I'm going to sit at home. I'm going to pour myself a scotch tonight, light a cigar, and just sit back and read them. Because it's usually me.
I'm just curious, what weapon would that have been
for the Ravens?
Yeah.
Oh, Jalen Hyatt, Josh Downs, somebody that can, I don't know, catch pass. That's probably where I would have gone. It's my first time
but those
doing
are
this.
reaches, right? Those are reaches in the first round.
Yeah. I mean,
does Baltimore do that a lot?
No.
Have they ever valued wide receiver? No. Okay.
I hate the last thing you just said. I absolutely hate.
What?
I get inundated with that. We've never done that. Well, have you ever had the chance to do it? Seattle does this with corners all the time. We don't take corners in the first round. Have you ever had a great one? Have you ever had a great one that you just went, no, we'll take another tackle? I mean, look, they don't value it, but I get it.
Yeah.
Never had one fall in your lap that was.
And they didn't hear. That's why I didn't do that.
Didn't. Hey, I'm not the one taking shots.
I'm just defending myself because Tao's really all in his feelings that they took a guard.
Gosh, should we? It's the only pick you've had so far where I just went, oh, Billy.
Missed it by that much?
Missed it by that much.
All right, let's move on to number 29.
This is a pick of mine, and if you've heard me talk about the New Orleans Saints over the last few months, well, really more the last few weeks than the last few months, this should come as really no surprise to you. Gotta hit the button. That was your call. I wanted to hit it once. Y'all came to the conclusion we had to do it every single pick. Looking at me like I'm a jerk. And you chose this, not me. Kalijah Kancey, defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh.
They're in love with him.
It's not so much they're in love with him. It's that all of the information is that they plan on adding an interior defensive line piece, and I'm reading tea leaves of what that's going to look like. Because, all right, so I'll take a player you took earlier. I wouldn't understand Brian Breeze at all. I just don't get it. I don't think he's – because that's another piece that is he going to hold up? And now he gets into a rotation. Well, I've already got rotational pieces. Kalijah Kancey, I think, comes into this league and is a 3-down defensive tackle immediately. I don't care how tall he is. Now, the Aaron Donald comparisons, those are stupid. I get that he's short. I get that he's a defensive tackle, and I get that he played at Pittsburgh. That is where the similarities between those two stop. Because Aaron Donald is freak of nature strong, and he was when he came into the draft. Kalijah Kancey is strong. He's way more athletic than he is strong. And I just, to me, it's a perfect fit for the two. And I would be shocked if he got out of the first round. I'd be nominally shocked if he got this far, but every time I do this, he finds a way to do it.
Right.
Because if he doesn't go in the top 20, I look from 21 to 28. Unless somebody trades in front of New Orleans, I don't see not one of those teams even acknowledging him. So that's how you wind up with a player like this. You got the value where it fits right there. It's a need for a certain team, and nobody around them has that same need.
All right, 2 picks left here in the first round. Number 30 belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles.
We got a lot of Eagles fans, so
we do.
No pressure.
We do have a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans.
And I'm not going to lie to you.
They're a little upset.
Well, and they can be very mean people, too.
A little upset that
I care.
There has not been an edge rusher. Bob Brown said that he wanted to trade up to get an edge rusher, to get Lucas Van Ness.
And I wouldn't hate that.
No.
Don't be shocked if the Eagles are one of the teams on this board that they use the capital. Certain teams do that, certain teams don't. Philadelphia's the one that does.
Yep. But in this scenario, they stay at number 30, and look, an edge rusher has fallen in their laps. It's Miles Murphy, edge rusher out of Clemson.
Let's give it up. Let's give it up for Tank. That's solid value right there. I feel like I've gotten a bad rap that like Miles Murphy did something to me, and I just have a huge problem with him. Look, people, all I do, the information goes in my ear, marinates in the old brain. I regurgitate it back at you. That's it. I want you to think of what Clelin Ferrell would have been had he not been the 4th pick. If you'd taken him at the back end of the first round, watch him, now that he's in San Francisco, watch him go out there, be a true, honest, genuine situational pass rusher, and watch him have kind of a career resurgence. because everybody with a pulse that's rushed the passer for San Francisco over the last few years, except Javon Kinlaw, has been good at it. He was put in a bad situation with the Raiders. I look at Myles Murphy much the same way, because two of the teams that I have seen him mocked to a lot are the Eagles and the Seahawks. Those are two tremendously different situations. Because in Philadelphia, what is he to start off with? In the rotation, was he the 4?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a situation where I can get you in. You really understand the system. You really buy in, really hit the weight room, get the body right, and learn how to be a pro. Seattle, and I love Seattle's roster. He's probably the second best pass rusher on that team the minute he walks in the door.
Yep.
And that's why I love one of them, and I will say I'm lukewarm to the other. Him in Philadelphia, to me, is – I'm not going to tell you to be an A+, because I feel like there are a couple other edge guys that are in the same – they're in the same general vicinity as him. But I also can't say that I would have even a negative word to say about it. I'm not as down on Myles Murphy as everybody makes it out to be. And that's on me. I've made it sound that way.
Right.
I'm down on him in the top 20 because he does not belong there under any circumstances.
I don't think he makes it out of the first round. At some point, I feel like there's one of these teams, or there may even be somebody who wants to move up back into the end of the first round to get him, because I think his ceiling is that high.
It can be. I'm not sure that I'm to the point where there's another player that's coming up with the next pick that, okay, if we're talking about sheer pass rushing ability, yeah, he's better. Myles Murphy has the potential to be a 3-down defensive end. He's probably the last one of these guys that has that potential. So that's where that would make sense to me. I'm just not sure who that team would possibly be.
All right, the final pick of the first round belongs to the defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs.
Your reigning, defending champions of the world. And this is just what Kansas City does. All right, we sit here, we let you the other 31 teams, you get to play with all your toys and do what it is you want to do, and we'll sit here and take Will McDonald IV, edge out of Iowa State. Am I telling you he's ever good against the run? No. I mean, he could probably hold up. He's super thin. But you want me to tell you a real good way to curtail that? Put him next to Derek Nottie and Chris Jones. That tends to help.
Mm-hmm.
When you have two gigantic guys on the interior, which means they're going to deal with one-on-ones constantly, that's the way to deal with that. Worst case scenario, he is Elvis Dumervil, because that's who I've compared him to.
Worst case.
That's worst case.
That's pretty good.
It is, and people remember that one really good year. I'm not saying he's going to hit that. I'm saying he's an undersized guy that plays 25 to 35 snaps a game, and I just tell him, you go kill quarterbacks. That is the whole reason you're in the NFL. Could the range of moves he have be improved? Yeah. But in Kansas City, I have all the time in the world to teach you that, because this team is deep. They draft well, and I can be patient, because you don't have to be the best pass rusher on this team.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to come in and play 30% of the snaps to start with. And as we go along, we'll increase that. And who knows? I say this every time we talk about the draft. The league is getting smaller and faster. 3 years from now, he might be able to hold up against the run, because everything gets smaller, and now he's not a grossly undersized defensive end. Now he's about average.
Mm-hmm. All right, there it is. Your first round mock draft in the books. We will not do another one.
Oh, it's sad.
Live.
It's the last live one we do. I don't know what to do with myself.
But it's not the last mock draft that's going to be out there.
No.
We have team by team 3-round mock drafts. The ones that we haven't done are coming out on the channel tonight on the YouTube stream. Then we start with Jeremy's A+ mock drafts, team by team, which is in a vacuum, best case scenario, this is who falls to your pick, or this is who you go and get in the first round, or in all 7 rounds of the draft. Those will be going out next week. This weekend, those go out. And then we have the actual 7-round prognostication at ESPN Draft Nerd that'll go out the week of the draft.
That's the one where Jeremy has to go into the darkness retreat for 2 days to make sure he has all the pick numbers right and gets all the... More goes into that than people think.
Mm-hmm. You cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and see what you come up with. You are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, there is big news in the NFL. There's a preliminary deal in place.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic's crawling 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound, then stop and go between Amboy Road and Bavard Road. 240 eastbound is slow between Chuns Cove Road and Exit 8. 26 westbound is crawling between Upward Road and Hendersonville Road. A disabled vehicle does have the left lane closed. 26 westbound approaching Long Shoals Road, again slow. 26 eastbound, very busy between I-40 and Bavard Road. Again, 26 eastbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Long Shoals Road. 40 westbound between Sweeten Creek Road and Bavard Road, heavy delays. Brevard Road southbound is stop and go between Sardis Road and Long Shoals Road. Hendersonville Road southbound is crawling between I-40 and Mills Gap Road. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road north and southbound crawling approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by GetRefunds.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. If you own a business and still haven't applied for the payroll tax refund, we want to pay a licensed tax attorney to see if you're eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Hey everyone, it's Cassidy Hubbarth from ESPN.
I'm Nico Ramos, a sports broadcaster here in Manila.
Together, we have a new podcast we can't wait to share with you. Hoops Paradise, the Philippines' love of the game.
You know, there's religion, there's politics, and there's basketball. And those are the three things you talk about in the Philippines.
It's a basketball love affair like no other. Listen to Hoops Paradise, the Philippines' love of the game, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's time to get a hop on your spring cleaning checklist with the help of Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. A few moments left in the program here, and the big news out of the NFL today is not that it's draft day in 2 weeks, but it's that the Washington Commanders are one step closer, supposedly, to a deal.
I love how much traction this story is getting because basically nothing that came out today means squat.
No. There's a preliminary deal in place.
This is basically the NFL's way of saying it's last call for bid-a-hole. If you would like to be the next owner of the Washington Commanders, now would be the time to put your best offer out there.
Yep. Sources telling ESPN's Adam Schefter today that there is a, quote, preliminary non-exclusive agreement to sell the Commanders, obviously from the Snyders. Daniel and Tanya Snyder will sell it, supposedly, to the Josh Harris group. This is the he owns the which one of the Philadelphia 76ers. Magic Johnson is a part of this bidding group as well.
They probably ultimately win.
And
this is just an absolute. I'm not going to say it's an overreaction because if you're a Washington Commander fan, I understand why you're looking at this going, thank God.
And the price, $6.05 billion. So the last report that we had, that they had a fully funded $6 billion offer on the table. Well, and then there was the story that, so-and-so's offering $6 billion too. And so is Apostolopoulos. They're offering $6 billion as well. Well, they just went, okay, we'll throw in another $50 million and give us the team.
And that's basically what this that's the takeaway here. Because I would wager all of these bids are really close to each other. And what the reason this came out, because ask yourself who wants you to know that. The reason this came out is this is basically the NFL saying, if all things are equal, we prefer the Josh Harris group.
Yes.
That's who will win if nobody steps up with more money. And I would be a little surprised if anybody gave up more.
Well, Tillman Fertitta apparently has, according to reports, he has gone, I'm doing no more than the Forbes valuation, which is 5.8.
Yes.
So he's not going over that. He's not getting to the $6 billion mark, which was initially what Dan Snyder said he wanted for this team.
Well, I mean, and the thing that a lot of these groups are running into is, okay, so we spend $6 billion to fund the purchase of the team. Now we got to deal with the stadium. So now you got a whole nother headache that could be quite a chunk of money out of your pocket. So I would say it probably does end up being Josh Harris. But just, okay, this is the NFL, slow news day, last call for bid-a-hole.
Yep. The soonest that a deal is expected to happen is, or is the approval of a deal is in May when there's the next round of owners meetings. May 22nd through the 24th, they meet in Minneapolis. That's where the vote is expected to occur. That doesn't mean we won't have a deal in place before then. Again, this is not official. This is not final word. This is just, hey, we've got $6.05 billion on the table. Anybody else want to step up and beat that bid?
And I would say no. It's probably $6 billion, and we will be rid of Mark Cuban. We'll be rid of Daniel Snyder before this season starts.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3, right here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up tonight on the YouTube stream, be looking forward to the last of the 3-round mock drafts videos coming out.
And then it's on to the 7-rounders, which will start tomorrow.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Rain chances going up into the Friday forecast, and we're watching some big rains today down across Georgia, moving up into South Carolina, coming up from the south. As the coastal low marches across the Carolinas for Friday. 54 degrees our low tonight, increasing storm chances overnight and into Friday. Thunderstorms Friday, high 67, low 49, partly cloudy Saturday, high 76. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Chuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound crawling between Upward Road and Hendersonville Road. Again, 26 westbound slowing between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 26 eastbound slow between I-40 and the French Broad River. 40 eastbound is stop and go between Sweeten Creek Road and Porter's Cove Road. 40 on the westbound side is slow between Hendersonville Road and Brevard Road. Brevard Road southbound is stop and go between Sardis Road and Long Shoals Road. In this stretch, an accident at Pole Cressman Road has the center lane blocked. Hendersonville Road, north and southbound in the Fletcher area, approaching Fanning Bridge Road, heavy delays. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between I-40 and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound is slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road.